Of the arrest, Captain Sekgobela says he told Kekana he was being arrested for murder. However, an official document that lists the charges Kekana is facing does not mention murder. Sekgobela told the court there wasn't enough space in the document to include the charge of murder. Kekana's lawyer, Advocate Rian Gesing.
So the actual charge that accused number one has been arrested for, in terms of your earlier evidence, is not contained in the document. You would agree?
Yes.
Gesing also pointed to the differences between the captain's evidence and the document containing when and where Kekana was read his constitutional right and what language was used. The form states his rights were explained at Bramley Police Station, but Sekgobela could not remember reading Kekana his rights at the police station, nor at the hospital where he was being treated for a bloody cough after police called an ambulance for him.
Where did you explain his rights?
The defense then told the court Kekana denies having his rights read to him and Michael Puletau at the time of their arrest. If the court agrees with the defense, this would derail the state's case not only in this matter but also in the murder case of Aman Swart. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
National Treasury will release billions of rands to struggling municipalities this week after withholding the funds, but insists it's not giving them a clean bill of health. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says the remaining local government equitable share funds will be released from Friday. The funds were withheld to 69 municipalities for nearly a month due to poor financial management and governance. Cooperative Governance Minister Velenkosini Hlabisa has welcomed National Treasury's decision, but he says the focus must now shift to government departments that owe municipalities billions of rands, arguing they too should face similar consequences.
All government national departments and provincial governments that owe billions of rands to municipalities, the next step now is to apply a similar approach.
And at least 13 people have died in an earthquake that struck in southwest Japan. The 7.1 magnitude quake struck the city of Kumamoto yesterday afternoon, causing widespread damage, sparking fires and leaving tens of thousands of homes without power. Authorities say a mall was scattered by a gas explosion, collapsing ceilings there as well as walls, and a factory was also damaged. Rescue efforts are underway at the mall, where many people are believed to be trapped. Gold is trading at $4,033.73 an ounce. The rand is at 16.72 to the dollar, 22.23 to the pound, 19.05 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.91 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in four-ways along Winnie Mandela Drive. That's due to an accident right near Leslie. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the M1 North, we've got delays between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange.
And in your sport, at the Commonwealth Games, Team South Africa swimmers bagged 5 more medals, including 1 gold for Lara van Niekerk in the 50-metre breaststroke. Unbelievable result at WAFCON last night. Malawi, ranked 153 in the world, beat the Africa's top side and champions Nigeria 3-2. And in Test cricket, West Indies beat Pakistan by 90 runs in the first Test.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 17. Pretoria 8 and 20. Vereeniging of 8 as well, peaking at 18 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson says she had no sinister motives when she authorized an investigation into the SAPS political killings task team.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. It is a Wednesday. It's the 29th of July, 2026. There is so much on the show to be excited about this very morning. We want to look in the Africa Report, South Africa's diplomatic efforts to try and woo nations on the continent. Our traditional allies have been nervous because of anti-migrant sentiment in South Africa. So diplomats have been sent to the four corners of the continent. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. There's been a trip to Abuja. There's been a trip to Ghana. There are overtures to Kenya. There are overtures to members of the African Union to try and say, whoa, 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 whoa. Is it succeeding? And then a question, what would you consider Gauteng's most pressing issue at the moment? As a Gautenger, as a 702 lander, would it be the aging infrastructure around water supply? Would it be our roads? Would it be electricity? Would it be jobs? Would it be violent crime? Things like the extortion mafia? Would it be food safety? Poisoning at spaza shops? So, for example, if you had, I don't know, let's say 5 million rand, what would you spend it on? Maybe that's too much. If you had 1.5 million rand, quick sticks, what would you spend it on to solve some of Gauteng's problems?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh, why do I ask such a question? Well, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Speaker, Juan Murakane Musupue, is under a lot of pressure because she led a delegation to Venezuela at the end of last year, and they spent this almost 6 million rand on the trip. But not everyone of her 12-member delegation made it to Venezuela because as they were traveling, the US government imposed travel restrictions on Venezuela. So some of the members of that delegation did not go for some tourism fair, right? A tourism fair, the Feria Internacional de Turismo de Venezuela, FITVEN for short. So it's a tourism fair of Venezuela, essentially, the International Tourism Fair of Venezuela. This is in November last year. The fair was meant to run from the 28th of November to the 1st of December, right? 30 days hath November, remember? So it was going to be the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, and it would conclude on the 1st of December. That's a maximum of 4 days, or thereabouts. Except these officials were gone for 12. Nobody quite knows what they were doing on the other 8 days. As I said, not all the members who were intended to travel made it because of these travel restrictions that were placed on Venezuela by the US government. But the speaker boldly went. She arrived. And when they got to Venezuela, the South African embassy said, hey, Hamban, go back, yay, Nyapi, go. In the dead of night, they were rushing to the airport because you just had to get to the airport to try and get a flight out because it was just that desperate. They managed to get one, and now nobody quite can figure out what happened thereafter. But here's the kicker. Apart from the flights, the accommodation, and everything else, there's a per diem amount that was spent. You know, what do they call it? Subsistence and travel, right? They used to call it S&T money.
S&T, yeah.
Right? Subsistence and travel. This is the money your company gives you, you know, for food and whatever you might need when you're on a trip. 1.5 million rand for a 12-member delegation works out to how much per person? Around 125,000 rand. That's if all 12 went. What's not very clear at this stage is if all 12 indeed were part of this delegation. So it might even be a higher amount if only, say, 5 people made it to Venezuela. You see what I mean? Is that the most pressing problem Gauteng faces? We'll deal with that after 7 o'clock.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
13 after 6. So here's our shout out this morning. Very simply this. What's that perk your company or employer offers the business? You enjoy it. It really, really is beneficial to you in the execution of your duties. You love it. You are judicious in using it because you're aware of the value of this perk. But you look around you and you watch your colleagues, you watch people in the business abuse it. And your greatest fear is that someday the bosses are going to wake up to this and revoke it, revoke the privilege. What is that perk or privilege your company offers you? It's fantastic for you. You love it, love it, love it, love it. But your fear is that, your colleagues are messing this thing up. And they're going to mess this thing up for everyone. Mateo?
In our building?
No. Nobody would
just
ever.
imagine all our colleagues
we
listening.
We do have a case, actually.
We do?
So we are now, how many years have we been in this building? I think about 4 years now in our new building, right? When we moved into our new building, the company, our CEO, our group CEO, wanted coffee machines and coffee stations on every floor of the building.
Yeah.
So he bought 700 cups, coffee mugs.
Yes.
4 years ago.
The brand.
I don't think they lasted 4 months. All 700 disappeared.
I still spot one now and then.
Then there was the awkward situation.
1 or 2.
My mail. I feel like I'm gossiping now. There was an awkward situation where there was a bereavement, right? In the business. And so the bosses do what bosses do at Prime Media, the great bosses that they are. Raise. They went to show up, as one does, at said person's bereavement. And the person is sitting on the mattress, and the families around them, they're not dealing with the dailies of serving tea and coffee to the guests that arrive, to the people that are coming to mourn with you.
No.
And so there was a tray with the cups from work. And the bosses are going, this is a bit awkward. And we kept it moving.
I mean, they're from the company. They were served with company mugs.
Wow. So what's that? So it has happened, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Nahana. Hey?
I think flexible work hours are one of those perks that people are just, you know, like I see people shopping. We knock off early, and I'm just like, it's too packed at this mall. You know, something's off.
I've been invited for brunch. Oh, come over to my house for brunch. Aren't you working? No, I'm working from home today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you wonder?
I'm flexible.
I'm working from home, so come over. Let's come and talk about that issue. I'm working for. Aren't you in a meeting? Yes, but I'm on mute. Amo, nothing further. Meantime, the mimosas in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Shh. Wait. I'm responding. Shh. And then they say something in the meeting, and then they mute themselves.
You are not getting an invite anytime soon.
Amo?
I think it's the opportunity to study, right? I've seen a lot of people who take up studying and then either they don't want to continue, or whilst they've studied the course, they've started the course, but they don't want to continue. And of course, you can't just go back and say, no, I don't want to anymore. If you've signed, you have to finish, right? And some people are like, actually, you know what? I don't want to continue with this. It's one perk.
And so they fail. And the company loses the money.
So I hope, because there's some of us who still appreciate that perk.
Oh, gosh.
That it's not taken away because of that.
All right. What's that perk or privilege your company provides that you think colleagues are abusing, or you worry they may abuse? You can call us anonymously, and you worry that if they continue, it'll be taken away.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
We'll also bring you up to speed with the latest from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, as you just heard now at the top of the hour. The former IDEC head, Andrea Johnson, really struggling to answer very basic questions, but I suppose also the bigger picture stuff as to why all of these things were happening under her watch. And she kept saying, I didn't know, I wasn't told, and really trying to abdicate her responsibility as the head of IDEC. We'll bring you some clips from that in case you missed it.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
18 after 6, Mateo Khadipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know, is there a feature, show, or program that still makes you pay for having a streaming service or, you know, a paid TV channel? What's the thing you're still sticking around for?
News. For DSTV, at least for me. News and sport.
That makes it worth it for the entire bouquet.
Yeah. It's
You don't
just
watch
one of
anything
those.
else, but the news and the sports keeps you on.
I actually can't remember the last time I watched something else outside of news and sports on DSTV. Every now and again, if I sort of stumble onto something like Come Dine With Me.
Yeah.
But generally, it's for the news and for the sport.
Anything that's keeping you glued to a paid TV platform?
It's I pay for Disney Plus, particularly for the kids, right? And it's so easy for them to watch all these movies and explore all these.
They're right there.
Yeah, because they're right there. But I, like Bongani, outside of the movies, I can't remember the last time I sat and watched something that was like personally for me as an adult. It's mostly for the kids' movies.
That feature, knowing that if they want something, if they want Frozen,
let's go there.
You can find it there. I'm curious about what prompts the question.
702.
Weather.
19 after 6, a partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. It is getting a little chillier. I don't know if you've noticed. Joburg temperatures will max only at 17 degrees today. Your high in Vereeniging is 18. Pretoria 20. A fine day in Cape Town, maximum of 22. So a little warmer there. Bombela max is at 20 degrees. Bloemfontein 18. Mahikeng 22. Durban also 18. Scattered showers. Cloudy there. Gqeberha 18 and Kimberley 20.
EWN Traffic.
Speaking of 20, it's 20 after 6. Amuhelang, let's have a first look at the traffic.
Well, if you're traveling in four ways, Bongani, we've got delays on Winnie Mandela Drive approaching Leslie. That's due to an accident there. There's also another issue that's reported in the four ways area. That's faulty traffic lights along the same intersection. So do anticipate huge delays traveling along this route. Then in Bedford View, we've got delays on the N12 West approaching the Kilulis interchange. There's also slow-moving traffic on the Maikwa North between Boyson's Road and the Crown interchange. That's due to peak time delays there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You're up before everyone else. You're building something real. Absa Business Banking, powered by Visa, gives you everything you need to get going. Open a business account in 10 minutes. Buy a point-of-sale device for $799 and get a credit card all in one place. We get it. Running a business is hard. Your banking shouldn't be. Search Business Starter Pack. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today, it's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Hey, morning, Bongs. Obren for Sloras. Bongani, on your question, I'm sorry, man. You know you are putting us in a corner. Remember, it's cool multiple choice. A, it will be 1. B, it will be 2. So then there'll be another one at the end there. And then maybe D, it will be both 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the pressing issues of Johannesburg. All of the above, Bongani. I know you want us one pressing issue. Even if you have 2 million, you have to spend it on all of them because they've left Joburg to deteriorate in such a way that you cannot abandon the potholes, you cannot abandon electricity, you cannot ignore service delivery at all. So it's very bad. All of the above, Bongani. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani and your team. It's both jobs, the duplication of Gauteng, Bongani, the potholes, Nje, it's a lot that the ANC has failed to be exactly in Gauteng to deliver. Look at Captain Park, Bongani. It's unbelievable. A lot of situation are closing there. Job exhibit, I won't talk about it. You go to the location, overcrowding, no even service delivery. It's just a mess in Gauteng, if you ask me, Bongani. Max in Pretoria.
Well, I suppose that's the whole point of asking so many questions because, gosh, have we run out of things to deal with in Gauteng that we'd spend millions on these overseas jaunts for officials who, in the end, didn't even attend the fair that they said they were going to? Have we run out of things to do, to fix in this province?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. A 47-year-old Pretoria man has appeared in the Pretoria Magistrates Court on a charge of attempted murder. Listen to this. So this chap lied about his HIV status, and it now appears he intentionally infected his 38-year-old girlfriend during their relationship, which was between October 2025 and June 2026. Prosecutors allege he deliberately infected her because he did not want her to be with anyone else after she discovered antiretroviral medication in his possession. The accused remains in custody with the case postponed to the 3rd of August for bail information. So presumably at some point, I mean, he was malicious enough, I would imagine, then to have stopped taking his own medication so that he could be infectious to her and didn't tell her that he was HIV positive and is now being charged with attempted murder. KwaZulu-Natal disaster management teams have been placed on high alert as the South African Weather Service issued level 2 and level 4 warnings for heavy rainfall. They're predicting that there might be flooding, structural damage and dangerous road conditions across parts of the province. We speak to Adam Gilchrist in The World View. This is a big controversy. FIFA announcing plans to sell a stake in the commercial rights to its major tournaments, including the World Cup. Through a new investment venture, this would be valued at around $20 billion. UEFA, in particular, has been strong in its criticism of FIFA and this venture, and they are saying that they are selling the soul of football. In fact, UEFA is now threatening to boycott the World Cup if FIFA goes ahead with this. We'll get more details from Adam Gilchrist in The World View. And are you a Marvel Universe fan? Marvel Studios have made 2 major announcements. This is at the San Diego Comic-Con 2026. And they've revealed that the British actor David Johnson is going to play the new Black Panther as T'Challa's son in Black Panther 3. Johnson, of course, first gained recognition on London's West End and winning a Black British Theatre Award for his performance in Breathe, before earning acclaim for his roles in a number of series on the BBC and HBO. Ryan Gosling, by the way, officially also joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Ghost Rider. Both films are scheduled for release in 2028. And on this day, in 2019, Lil Nas made music history when Old Town Road became the longest-running #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100. It was there for 17 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached.
So what was amazing about this song? They used a $30 backing track to create the song. It broke all previous records. One Sweet Day and Despacito had been the previous longest running hits at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. From a $30 backing track. We're in the wrong business, Mateo.
702.
The newspapers.
Svisa Zulu, I'm looking at 2 stories. A very good morning to you. The front page of the Sowetan, a 9 million rand sports center. The SIU ordering people who scammed essentially the National Lotteries Commission, promising to build this center. And it looks like it's not even a field, really. It's a patch of dust, right? Iskanga. What would you call iskanga in English? It's not a veld. It's the middle of nowhere. There's not even a blade of grass. So I can't call it a veld. It's not a field. It's just this patch of ground lying at the edge of a settlement, and it's got one little tree in the middle, and they charged the National Lotteries Commission 9 million rand, but there's no sports center there that can be spoken of. And we want to focus on this after 7. The Business Day says Treasury blinks in that municipal standoff. What do you have?
A power bank in eastern China has caught fire on a plane. So it was in a bag on the overhead bin where you put your bag right when you got on the plane. And the cabin crew starts seeing flames coming out of there, and they get worried. And as soon as they open the bin, they see this fire, small fire. Fortunately, they put it out. No one was injured, but it has raised questions about people traveling with power banks because of lithium batteries and all of that. So yeah, that's just one of those situations.
I know you can't put it in your the luggage that you send in. You've got to keep it with you.
Yeah, but this person put it in like a little bag that they put on this overhead bin inside.
I wonder what
the plane.
made it catch fire.
Yeah, so it's like the lithium battery. So that's why other airlines are banning
power banks
people
now
from carrying power banks.
Oh,
yeah,
another perk we're about to lose.
EWN Business.
What keeps you paying for pay TV channels, Mateo wants to know. Is it the news channels? Is it kiddies programs? Some series you can't get enough of? Or the sports? What prompts the question, Mateo?
Bongani Canal Plus has given a performance update on MultiChoice's performance since the French media company's takeover. MultiChoice reporting revenue of 1.1 billion euros or 22 billion rand, down 2.9%. Now, Canal Plus's own commentary shows just how much of the growth comes from outside MultiChoice. The rest of the continent and Asia added 1.5 million subscribers over the year, with French-speaking African countries alone contributing more than 1 million additional subscribers, driven by the Africa Cup of Nations and expanded retail networks. Now, Canal Plus says subscription revenue is down 1%, and subscriptions are still a sore point for DStv. MultiChoice lost roughly 2.8 million active TV subscribers across Africa over a 2-year stretch leading into 2026, with 1.2 million users shed in South Africa during 2025 alone. Now, Canal Plus says MultiChoice subscribers across the market are up 1%, up by roughly 100,000 users to 13.2 million. The company's only saving grace in the first half of the year was the FIFA World Cup. Now, Canal Plus says subscriber acquisition in MultiChoice countries rose 40% during the first half of the year, with June the best month for new subscriber uptakes in South Africa in about a decade. The French media giant is worried about user loyalty outside of major tournaments.
Also, what people do is they'll subscribe during the World Cup.
Yes.
And then at the end of the World Cup, they'll cancel their subscription.
Just get a big enough package for you to watch the World Cup, and then you're out as soon as it's over.
Oh, wow. Where's the rand?
16 rand 76 against the US dollar, down 0.5% this morning. 19 rand 10 cents against the euro, and 22 rand 28 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,022 an ounce, or platinum is down 1.5% at $1,589. Brent crude at $87 a barrel. More business after 7.
This is Zulu. Let's go straight to the news desk. As the Business Day puts it, National Treasury blinked first.
Well, that's right, Bongani. It says it will release billions of rands to struggling municipalities this week after withholding the funds, but insists it's not giving them a clean bill for health. Finance Minister Gauteng says the remaining local government equitable share funds will be released from Friday. The funds were withheld to 69 municipalities for nearly a month because of poor financial management and poor governance. Cooperative Governance Minister Velenkosini Hlabisa has welcomed National Treasury's decision, but he says the focus must now shift to government departments that owe municipalities billions of rands, arguing they too should face similar consequences.
All government national departments and provincial governments that owe billions of rands to municipalities, the next step now is to apply a similar approach.
Action SA says its proposed legislation to regulate the lobbying profession will ensure that lobbying conducted on behalf of paying clients is done transparently. The party says the proposed lobbying transparency bill will establish a modern regulatory framework which includes a mandatory public register of professional lobbyists. It announced yesterday that it will introduce the bill following revelations that Tony Leon's Resolve Communications company tried to influence Minister Soli Malatsi on behalf of Starlink. Action SA Chief Whip Lerato Ngobeni.
A private member's bill to establish South Africa's first comprehensive statutory framework regulating professional lobbying and promoting transparency in political and executive decision-making. South Africa has long suffered the consequences of opaque influence over public decision-making, from the arms deal and the era of state capture to the Digital Vibes scandal.
South Africa's tourism accommodation sector has continued to grow in May, but at a slower pace. New figures from Statistics South Africa show total income for the tourist accommodation industry rose by 2.5% compared with May last year. Income generated purely from accommodation increased by 2.2%, helped by a slight rise in the number of room nights sold and higher average room rates. Anelita Fandese takes a look.
Hotels remained the biggest driver of growth, with accommodation income increasing by 2.8% year-on-year. Other accommodation, including lodges, bed and breakfasts, and self-catering establishments, also posted solid growth of 3.7%. However, caravan parks and camping sites continued to struggle, with income plunging 35.1%. Guest houses and guest farms were largely flat, dipping 0.4%. Looking at the broader trend, accommodation income for the 3 months ending May was 7.5% higher than the same period last year. The data points to a tourism industry that is still expanding, even as growth moderates, underscoring the sector's continued role in supporting jobs and the wider economy. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And train operations have been suspended in Japan's city of Kumamoto following an earthquake that claimed at least 13 lives. The 7.1 magnitude quake struck yesterday afternoon, causing widespread damage, sparking fires and leaving tens of thousands of homes without power. Authorities say a mall was gutted by a gas explosion, collapsing ceilings and walls, and a factory was also damaged. As the trains were stranded on the broken tracks after the quake, some passengers had to spend the night on the trains. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 3 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 20.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident in Fourways. It's along Winnie Mandela Drive right near Leslie Avenue. It's causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic in Sharon Lee along Malibongo Drive between President Fouché and the N1.
The top story this hour: National Treasury will release billions of rands to struggling municipalities this week after withholding the funds.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
My name is Mzo Jojoana and I'm the Chief Content Officer at Primeda Broadcasting. So Walk the Talk has always been about a purpose, and really the big drive this year is about reconnecting us to the city, but also being part of the fixing in the city. The highlight of my day was seeing well over 25,000 people reclaim and own the streets of Johannesburg, and we will not leave the city until the work we came here to do is done. So I look forward to the 2027 edition of Walk the Talk, and really I can't wait to come back next year.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
That's Thabo before he got naked. When Thabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best: hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Thabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Thabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. What you need to do is send us an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show. And for that, you could win 1,000 Rand. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. And then later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, baby. Not the other one. And your team. So, I think for me, it's the work from home policy. And my colleagues are really abusing it. Eh? You call them, they're not available while they're supposed to be at work. So, it's a really terrible thing. Given where the world is heading now, we are giving this opportunity to at least be hybrid. But people are really abusing this work from home policy, or the privilege, I should say. Thank you.
Bongani, good morning. They were saved by you, Marabongani, no. So it means all the cups that we've been given with our names on, they are somewhere in someone's family. Bongani, no. Let me tell you a pack that was given to us when I was still employed. The pack of working from home. It was taken away, my friend. Because now, when one was phoned to be given an assignment, that person was not on the phone, was not at home, went shopping. And working from home was a very good thing. But that pack was taken away and it saved money, but it was taken away. Matlatsi.
We're talking about perks you enjoy, you understand their benefit, they are hugely, hugely helpful for you in the work that you do, and you use them judiciously. But you worry that maybe some of your colleagues, people in the business, are abusing them, and then you worry that they'll be taken away. Working from home is certainly one perk many people enjoy, but not everyone uses judiciously, right? How about the company petrol card? How many people use it? Not quite for the business intentions for which it was given, right? Let's talk about those perks. It's all to do, of course, with this incredible story of the Speaker of the Gauteng legislature leading a 12-member delegation to some tourism fair in Venezuela. Some of the members, it's understood, didn't even make it to the fair, this international fair. And with all of Gauteng's problems, they wanted to go because, it was important for Gauteng to have diplomatic and friendly relationship with Venezuela. That was very, very important. It deepened diplomatic relations and soft power between Gauteng. When they got there, of course, they were sent back by the South African embassy because the US had imposed a travel restriction. That's why some of the members didn't even get there. And when they get there, the embassy staff are going, hey, go back. It was meant to be a 4-day trip. They were gone for 12. Nobody can explain what they were doing on the other 8.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta's eyes are just popping.
Good morning, Bongani. Because there's just this piece of road on Malibongwe, and people who drive this area will know. between, it's close to the Cresta area, so it's Malibongwe and it's like Ferndale kind of area. And they came and they dug up the road, and then they never came back and fixed it. And if you drive over that little strip, you literally lose your car. And it's quite a main part of Malibongwe that connects maybe Cresta, trying to think, to like Rand Park, etc. And people who drive it know it. And that money could have been spent on fixing that road. Absolutely. And that's just, I know that is just, and people go, well, in my area, I'm just giving an example of such a small bit of road that could be tarred with that money.
And that's what I was asking, that have we run out of things to deal with in Gauteng? But this is what we're spending our millions on.
When you're teaching a child to drive in the city like I'm currently doing, and they're navigating, not only are they learning to drive, but they're navigating potholes and this curb and which street is it, because there's no markings on which street they're going on. Sorry, it leaves me absolutely infuriated. But what makes me happy is Team South Africa at the Commonwealth Games.
5 more medals, right?
5 more medals.
Focus on that stuff.
Focus. Let's just glimmers. From the swimming pool yesterday at the Commonwealth Games, 1 gold and 4 silvers. The gold was won by Lara van Niekerk, who defended her games title in the 50-meter breaststroke.
Well, to be honest, I heard my teammates screaming, so I knew it was probably going to be gold, but I just had to take my goggles off to make sure, because in a 50 it's split and anyone can actually take it. So Erin Gallagher told me before, a 50 you just need to go swim, the rest is up to God, and it's really, really true. But 50s are so competitive, and our maker knows actually what's the outcome before we even swim.
Silver medals won by the 4x100 meter relay team in African record time. Amy Canny in the 200 meter individual medley. Also silver for Paralympians Nathan Hendricks and Danica Fenker in their 50 meter S13 freestyle. In athletics, the men's 100 meter final in the pouring rain was won by Cameroon's Emmanuel Esme in 9.83 seconds. South African Gift Leotlela finished 4th. Cheswell Johnson was 8th, while Bradley Nkwana was disqualified in the semi-final for a false start. In netball, the Spar Proteas making it 3 wins from 3. They beat Northern Ireland 78-30. Veteran goal defence Carla Pretorius.
Yes, so we obviously always happy to take away with the win, but for us it's important those things that we want to do on court, that we do it and work every time we step on the court, being better, more consistent. And there's a lot of great things we're going to take away from this as we build up to tomorrow's game against Australia.
At WAFCON, an unbelievable result yesterday. Malawi, playing in the tournament for the first time ever, beat the continent's top side and African champions Nigeria 3-2. Zambia hammered Egypt 6-0. Captain Barbara Banda scored 4 goals there. And in Test cricket, the West Indies beat Pakistan by 90 runs in the first Test. Pakistan was set a target of 211. Player of the match, Justin Greaves, took 7 wickets. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely, you. Holy shop. You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisekaya.
Thinking about studying but waiting for the right time? Well, with Richfield's online qualifications designed to fit around your life, the right time is now. But you better hurry, because their mid-year applications will be closing soon. So whether you're working, changing careers, ready to level up, you can choose degrees and diplomas in business and IT, an online MBA, and you can study online from anywhere. Applications, as I say, will be closing soon, so apply today at richfield.ac.za. Richfield, your future enriched.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
Hi, my name is Uyanda and I'm 11 years old. I go to Royal School Sky City, and when I grow up, I want to be a surgeon. I feel pretty excited to play with Uncle Bongani today.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. There's a crash in Fourways. Amu?
That's correct, Bongani, on Winnie Mandela Drive, right near Leslie Avenue. It's causing delays from Witkappen Road. There's also queuing traffic in Soshanguve along the R80 South. Another accident reported there. It's right near Hebron Road. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout. More details coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Clever excuses for being late, number 93. The GPS language setting mysteriously changed to Greek. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Do you ever call you like to sell, but don't trust your uncle or your pal? Then we buy cars, it's just for you. Buying cars is what we do. We offer service with a smile. We always go the extra mile. Use a place that you trust and sell your car to us.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Do you know what our problem is?
We have a problem?
You're a little clingy.
Clingy?
Every time I start getting somewhere, you want me.
But I need you.
You can't have all of me. I need a little room to grow.
So what are you saying?
Put me in a Nedbank 32-day notice account. Give me some time. I'll come back better. Open a Nedbank 32-day notice account on the Money app and bank your money this July savings month. Go to nedbank.co.za. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Uyanda is our contestant today. She's 11 years old, wants to be a surgeon later on in life. Uyanda, tell us more about why you want to be a surgeon a little later on. Do you know?
Yeah, I'd love to become a surgeon because I love helping people.
Oh, and what's your favorite subject at school?
My favorite subject at school is natural science and technology.
All right, let's see how you do in those categories. KG, let's start the clock. Complete the saying, don't let the cat out of the what?
Out of the bag.
Correct. What is 90 minus 60?
84.
30. Which very famous doll was created in 1959 in the USA? Was it Barbie or Bratz?
Barbie.
Correct. What is the first word of South Africa's national anthem?
Nkosi.
Correct. Which European country won the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Spain. True or false? An ostrich runs faster than a cheetah.
True.
It's false. Supersonic means faster than the speed of what?
Pass.
Sound. Of which country is Emerson Mnangagwa the president? Zimbabwe. The word anklet is formed from ankle and what other word? Bracelet. Spell the word stationary.
STATIONERY.
That is correct, but not in time, I'm afraid. Not in time, I'm afraid. And that gives you a total of 300 Rand. Uyanda, 3 correct answers is what you got.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
South Africa report, of course, onto this now. Let's look at an issue that has been front of mind, certainly for the president, as he's appointed a special envoy to try and bring the rest of the continent back on side following, of course, anti-migration protests, rhetoric and violence in South Africa, and it has certainly disturbed relations with a number of African partners. And is it working? Dr. Kingsley Makubela is a former diplomat, so he knows all about these things. Always appreciate you and having you on the show. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning to you.
The president has taken this extraordinary step of appointing the International Relations and Cooperation Minister, Ronald Lamola, to be his special envoy to the rest of the continent. He's already had high-level meetings in Nigeria and Ghana. I suppose, firstly, let's just sort of take a step back. There's a very big difference between rhetoric and sentiment that might be whipped up by people on the streets on social media versus conversations that ought to take place between governments at a diplomatic level.
Absolutely correct, Bongani. You know, there are diplomatic sensitivities that I think should have been better nuanced. You know, if you send a special envoy to West Africa, you don't start in Ghana, you start in Nigeria. I think the Nigerian reaction now, I seem to think, is informed by the fact that they said, why would South Africa start with Ghana and not start with us? That's why the president refused, apparently, to see Minister Lamola in his meeting. And I think they are saying they want to de-escalate, and yet their actions are telling you they are escalating, because a special envoy cannot be accredited to a minister of state who is a deputy minister who received Minister Lamola there. So the message, they are sending mixed messages coming from Nigeria. You're getting same mixed messages coming from Ghana, because now apparently there's an effort to try to sue the South African government, which is unprecedented in any diplomatic action.
How much is this all about politics? Because one of the things that's going to be very difficult for this special envoy is to walk the tightrope of saying the government, the South African government, of course, condemns xenophobia, whilst at the same time the president himself has admitted to the concerns that have been raised by a number of the people who've expressed this anti-migrant sentiment, even though the experts will tell you that much of the details of what they argue about are not borne out by the facts.
Absolutely, Bongani. You know, the challenge that South Africa is having is that you find the rhetoric that is coming from political leaders on this matter that is not in line with what the government desires to do. For instance, you get mixed messages that are coming from the same government. Certain political parties who feel uncomfortable, they would wear their political hat even though they are part of the coalition and raise concerns. Members of the coalitions are not talking with the same tone on this. On the other hand, if you listen to the rhetoric coming from Nigeria and Ghana particularly, let's take Nigeria. They have a gentleman called Femi Fani Koyode, who's a high commissioner designate. He's been appointed and confirmed by South Africa. If you look at his Twitter space, the level of rhetoric and false information that he works on, I mean, he's looking at, he's tweeting about things that are actually, I know these are false. So you find the fake news and the deep fake are going to play havoc in terms of this. But at the political level, both countries, I don't think there's a concerted effort to de-escalate. I mean, I was worried about the address of the president at the Pan-African Parliament, specifically on this matter. I don't think he should walk that road. He should indicate what they are doing in terms of the laws of the country. And the Nigerians and the Ghanaians really taking this into the AU Assembly of Heads of State. I think that's what the special envoy should have dealt with, to say this matter, SADC is seized with, let it not go to the AU.
That's part of why I started the conversation by saying, hang on a minute, surely at a diplomatic level, at an intergovernmental level, we shouldn't be influenced by inflammatory rhetoric from the streets or even social media, and that seems to be exactly the point.
That's where we are, because this thing is playing to political constituencies on both sides. South Africans are preparing now for the coming local government election. The Nigerians, because there's emotions that are evoked in the country, they are playing to that. Same as the Ghanaians. So they are missing the strategic thrust of really creating a better diplomatic relation between the two countries. I don't think as South Africa, this country can afford to have any tension with Ghana and Nigeria. These are actually shining paths in many respects in terms of supporting South Africa in the past, and the South African business in those areas are really thriving. So creating Pan-African a business institution is what is at the strategic level of this relationship between the two countries.
But what I'm trying to understand is it because, as you say, there are political considerations domestically in both South Africa and West Africa, or is it that we are mucking up our communications around this? I mean, one of the things I thought was noteworthy was the fact that the special envoy, Lamola, raised these flashpoints, if you will, as part of the reasons we've seen these tensions. He mentioned that so-called Igbo king in the Eastern Cape. He also mentioned that foreign nationals have a role in organized crime in South Africa. And, of course, these hijacked buildings in the inner city of Johannesburg and Pretoria. And he says that's where that sentiment comes from. How would that be received in places where he's trying to cool tensions?
Bongani, what South Africa has lost, you're quite correct, is the strategic communication around this issue. The issue that the whole world is concerned about, it's not all those issues, hijacking, building crimes. It's a perception that vigilantes group have taken over the function of the state, are the ones who are enforcing this. They're the ones that are really fueling this rhetoric that we see, this anti-foreigners. And the state seems to be paralyzed about it. That's what is at the core of this. No one questions South Africa's legitimate authority to take people who don't have necessary documents out of the country. That's allowed. That's not the issue. The South African government should be focusing on how they are dealing with these vigilantes. And we're scoring our own goals as South Africans, because some of the things that you've seen coming out of the country, really they are humiliating to fellow Africans. And I don't think I identify with some of those vigilante sentiments.
Dr. Kingsley Makubela, appreciate your time. Former diplomat and
Thanks, Bongani.
Director at Risk Recon.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
6 million rand blown by the Speaker of the Gauteng legislature on a trip to Venezuela to cement friendly relations. Have we run out of problems to solve in this province? Up next.
This is EWN.
Alleged corrupt cop Fani Nkosi accuses IDEC of intimidation, and a state witness in Mampisa Ngakula's case expands on wigs used in alleged bribes. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. It's emerged at the Madlanga Commission that senior IDEC investigators interviewed Sergeant Fani Nkosi in prison without the presence of his lawyers. Nkosi filed a complaint saying on the 13th of July, he was visited by 9 IDEC officials at Kgosi Mampuru prison who questioned him about his relationship with alleged crime kingpin Vusumuzi Kat Matlala. Nkosi is in prison following his arrest earlier this year relating to multiple charges. Former IDEC head Andre Johnson told the commission yesterday that she's not aware of Nkosi's complaint. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Controversial cop Sergeant Fani Nkosi says senior IDEC investigator Sanil Belochin was the only one who introduced himself and spoke to him. Nkosi says Belochin threatened to charge him with corruption for being in possession of Vusumuzi Kat Matlala's credit card. He says Belochin asked him if he knew about a corrupt relationship between Matlala, National Police Commissioner Fani Masimula, and Head of Crime Intelligence Dumsani Kumalo. Nkosi says he didn't. Andrea Johnson, who was head of IDEC at the time, says she didn't sanction this, and it's not the unit's policy to interview suspects in the absence of the illegal representatives.
This, if it is true, is conduct really unbecoming and would have to be dealt with, because there's no logic for wanting to do this with the urgency and with the measure of pestering.
The visit took place on the same day Matlala's plea deal on his police corruption case with IDEC collapsed. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Accused number one in the trial of alleged underworld figure Vusumuzi Matlala is challenging the legality of his arrest. Musa Kekana claims police failed to properly inform him of his constitutional rights and arrested him without a warrant. His claim is being tested in a trial within a trial in the Johannesburg High Court, where the defense is seeking to have evidence linked to his arrest declared inadmissible. Police officer Pimi Alfred Sekgobela, who effected the arrest, testified yesterday. Kekana and Matlala, along with three others, face a combined 25 charges, including conspiracy to murder and attempted murder, fraud and money laundering. Dimakaso Leshuru was in court.
At the time of the arrest, Captain Sekgobela says he told Kekana he was being arrested for murder. However, an official document that lists the charges Kekana is facing does not mention murder. Sekgobela told the court there wasn't enough space in the document to include the charge of murder. Kekana's lawyer, advocate Rian Gesing.
So the actual charge that accused number one has been arrested for, in terms of your earlier evidence, is not contained in the document. You would agree?
Yes. Gesing also pointed to the differences between the captain's evidence and the document containing when and where Kekana was read his constitutional right and what language was used. The form states his rights were explained at Bramley Police Station, but Sekgobela could not remember reading Kekana his rights at the police station, nor at the hospital where he was being treated for a bloody cough after police called an ambulance for him.
Where did you explain his rights?
The defense then told the court Kekana denies having his rights read to him and Michael Puletau at the time of their arrest. If the court agrees with the defense, this would derail the state's case not only in this matter but also in the murder case of Aman Swart. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
The state's star witness in the case against former National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula has been pressed to give further details about a reference to a wig as an alleged code for a bribe. Mapisa-Nqakula is on trial for allegedly soliciting 4.5 million rand from Nombasa Chondwa Ndlovu, an SANDF contractor. Ndlovu, who turned state witness, is under cross-examination and has been asked to explain her allegations against Mapisa-Nqakula, who was defense minister at the time of the alleged crimes. Khomoso Modise has more.
One of the incidents that Nombasa Ndlovu has testified on is how Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula requested a wig from her in November 2018, which she knew was code for a bribe. She says she delivered 300,000 rand in cash at the OR Tambo International Airport in February 2019, but she says she put an actual wig over the money, which was stashed in a silk bag. The former minister's lawyers have pointed out the details in the WhatsApp conversation about the wig, asking what color 4 meant and what she meant about delivering in 7 days. Nzondo Ndlovu says those details had no meaning. Mapisa-Nqakula insists the WhatsApp texts were about a literal wig, and that is all she received from Nzondo Ndlovu. Cross-examination continues this morning. Khomoso Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has used his meeting with US President Donald Trump to ask for licenses to produce Patriot air defense interceptors. Zelensky spent just over an hour with Trump at the White House yesterday in talks that came with Kyiv and Moscow intensifying long-range strikes as US-led diplomatic efforts to end the war stalled. Relations between Zelensky and Trump have warmed since the start of the US president's second term, with Trump suggesting earlier this month that Ukrainian strikes inside Russia could help end the war. Last month was the deadliest for Ukraine civilians since April 2022 as Russia increased its use of difficult-to-intercept ballistic missiles. Ukraine has recently stepped up strikes on Russian oil depots, refineries and shipping, contributing to fuel shortages. Zelensky told Fox News that Ukraine is pushing for a ceasefire.
We want to stop this war. We're asking, President Trump wants and the Europeans want, Putin doesn't want. We're asking to stop this war each day, to minimum to negotiate ceasefire for some period of time and give possibility for diplomats to negotiate. But Putin doesn't want.
Gold is trading at $4,033.73 an ounce. The rand is at 16.72 to the dollar, 22.23 to the pound, 19.05 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.91 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Maikwan North. That's between Boyson's Road and Car Street. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North approaching the Baklu interchange coming out of Marlborough Drive. That's due to roadworks there. And speaking of the same area, Marlborough Drive and the N3 traffic lights are out of order. They're causing heavy delays.
And in your sport, Lara van Niekerk wins gold in the 50-metre breaststroke at the Commonwealth Games as the swimmers added 4 silver medals, taking the medal tally to 16 overall. WAFCON defending champions and Africa's top side Nigeria beaten by newcomers Malawi 3-2 last night. And Orlando Pirates coach Abdeslam Wadu excited about the new signings ahead of Saturday's league opener with Milford.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 20 degrees. The top story in EW and the Sawa. It emerged at the Madlanga Commission that senior IDEC investigators interviewed Sergeant Fani Nkosi in prison without the presence of his lawyers.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
The real concerns now that are popping up about IDEC, not just in terms of the individual of the former head, Andrea Johnson, who, of course, continued to struggle answering very direct questions, very simple questions, really, about some of the decision-making that was unfolding there. Institutionally now, I think there are questions being raised about the organization itself. I want you to listen to some of the exchanges again at the commission yesterday, where one of the commissioners, Advocate Sandile Khumalo, remarked that there appears to have been some kind of hidden hand or some other motive that directed the decisions that were being taken in terms of who was being investigated, why they were being investigated, and how those investigations were being conducted.
It looks like there was a hidden hand driving IDEC's investigations into crime intelligence and PKTT. And the question is, who and what is that hidden hand? Because this is not Mr. Adams's complaint. We've established that.
Correct.
So where do all these things come from?
I hear, Commissioner, and I'm not saying that your conclusion may not be wrong when you read it as you read it. I'm saying I am briefed on this matter by a chief investigator, and the investigators conduct the investigations. At the time I signed this, I have nothing within my knowledge to gainsay the authenticity or the truth of what is being put to me. However, in the manner that it comes forward, and given the fact that I've also indicated I have not seen an investigation and we don't have one into the political killings task team, the project manager who sits with all of the documentation confirms the same, as does Mr. Padiachi. The question that I am unable to answer for you is why this?
Why this? Why are you looking at the political task team when you are saying you weren't investigating them? Even if you say the reason you are doing any of these investigations was their complaint by Fadil Adams, he doesn't deal with the political killings task team. That's the question that she is being asked, and she battles to answer it. Another attempt by the evidence leader, Advocate Mahlape Silo, tries to press this thing about the political killings task team and members and commanders, and still she can't answer.
Why are you investigating promotions within PKTT?
I can honestly not recall asking them about the PKTT as the PKTT. I would have asked questions around the applications. Wouldn't have asked about the PKTT. The original documentation, file and applications for promotions of the commanders, for me, dealt with the issue of the promotions we were dealing with.
It says commanders and members, so it's not limited to commanders. It says commanders and members.
And if I may add, not of subs, but specifically of PKTT. So you can't divorce that entire inquiry from PKTT.
And she couldn't answer, could she?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12 after 7, what you need to know at this hour. There's been some strong reaction to a proposal by FIFA, which has announced plans to sell a stake in the commercial rights to its major tournaments, including, of course, the FIFA World Cup. UEFA, which is possibly the strongest member association for FIFA, now threatening in some of its messaging to boycott the World Cup. And the argument, of course, they're making is that they cannot sell the soul of football. The British Prime Minister, the new British Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has weighed in on this and has strongly criticized FIFA.
Let me say this very clearly. Football does not belong to investors. It belongs to the people who fill the stands, who stand on the touchlines week in, week out, rain or shine. The World Cup is not a product. It is the greatest competition in the world, and it was never anyone's to sell. Dress the deal up however you like. Once you have sold a piece of it, you have sold out. Football belongs to the supporters. It always has, and it always will.
A new UN report has found 1 in 3 people around the world, this is 2.69 billion people, cannot afford a healthy diet, despite global hunger declining for a third consecutive year in 2025. The report warns that healthy food, such as fruit or vegetables and dairy, remain too expensive for these folks. And Africa, of course, is the continent that has been hit hardest. And as I said earlier, on this day in 2019, Lil Nas X made history when Old Town Road became the longest-running #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100, spending 17 consecutive weeks at the top.
702. Up next,
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7, the CWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Peak time delays in a number of places now. Amu?
That's correct, Bongani. Along the M1 North between Boysons and Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Yelands Interchange and Van Buren Road. While heading towards Midrand, more delays on the N1 South between Samrand Avenue and Olifantsfontein Road. In the city of Tshwane, we still have got that accident on the R80 South. It happened right after Hebron in the Soshanguve area, causing delays. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
To save money, you keep items in your online cart until the price drops. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote, like 50-year-old Lawrence, who saves
309 Rand. I accepted the quote. Didn't shop around, didn't need to. Click, click, ring, ring.
That's a sweet 309 Rand saving on Lawrence's 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance saves 37-year-old Lerato a jaw-dropping 599 Rand on her 2026 Kia Sonet.
599. Very easy. Outsurance, they are the best.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
When you trust an attorney with your money, you should have peace of mind. And that's where the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund comes in. Established under the Legal Practice Act, the fund exists to protect members of the public who suffer financial loss because of the theft of trust money by a dishonest practicing attorney. It's an important safeguard that helps build confidence, accountability, and integrity in South Africa's legal profession.
Checkers brings you better freshness, better choice, and better value every day. On deals like Dr. Utker Ital Pizza Foldover, 310 to 345 grams, any two for 129 Rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply white or supreme quilts toilet rolls, 18-pack, any two for 249 Rand. Plus, get up to 40% back in UCount rewards with your qualifying Standard Bank card. Valid until 10 August. Only at Checkers. Checkers Hyper or shop on 6060.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani 6 to rent a car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani 6 on sani.co.za.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. So far and no further. What are you doing? That was the question that was posed to municipalities and local governments who were failing to pay service providers, including Eskom and water boards. They were certainly running unfunded budgets. And, of course, there was unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure. So Treasury decided to hold back some 7.1 billion rand from 49 municipalities to try and get them in line. And now it seems there's been a reversal by the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, who says he can't withhold these funds any longer because residents will suffer. Is it that Treasury blinked, as the Business Day suggests, or are there politics at play? Duma Qubule is an independent economist and joins us now. As always, a pleasure to have you on our show. I suppose the overall question that must be asked around all of this is, what's the point of threatening municipalities with tough talk and tough measures if you capitulate?
Thank you, Bongani. This thing made me so angry. We've had 2 decades of mismanagement or misgovernance at the level of local government. And what the finance minister was doing was just grandstanding, because you've had 2 decades to do this, to sort this out, and you have done nothing, and then now you want to hurt the poor people. What logic is there in hurting poor people? So there's 2 types of grants to municipalities. There is a conditional grant, which has got conditions, and there's these ones, which are unconditional grants. Now, why would you want to break the law to enforce the law? That's number one. Number 2, why would you cut your your nose to spite your face? Because these municipalities, you say they can't pay Eskom and the water boards, but you take away the money that will enable them to pay Eskom and the water boards. And they're just so, and then, yeah, there's just...
Well, hold on, Duma. I mean, the initial justification was that, in fact, this was to protect residents and ratepayers. The argument was that, they had other streams of revenue, and this was only really a fraction of their annual funding, so it wouldn't hurt them in that way. Was that explanation not correct?
But they've contradicted what they say in the statement that they released now. They say now in the press conference it's going to hurt the poor, and we don't want to hurt the poor. And then Slavisa, the Minister of Kokda, he says we don't want to collapse these municipalities before the local government election. And then, Bongani, I have to ask, I'm not part of any political party, but why would the finance minister, 4 months before an election, the timing of this, you decampaign the party that put you in power, that gave you this job. So I must now start believing conspiracy theories that you want to collapse your own party to force a coalition or merger with the DA. It makes no sense whatsoever. Which logical government? The ANC is already in trouble electorally, and then 4 months before the election, the most important election for this party since 1994, you introduce an idiotic measure like this? Yeah.
I mean, it raises any number of questions, as you say, the withholding of this funding, because, of course, they also, or at least there is the argument that they had been told, they'd been warned about whether or not they could do this.
Yes, they say they've got legal advice. I don't know, but the Financial and Fiscal Commission, I read I got the presentation and I listened to them, and I've been listening to Dr. Mbava, and she makes a proper case that this thing is illegal, and I believe her. Yeah.
So, as ultimately the municipalities then can continue doing as they were before, we're back to regular programming here, essentially.
Yes, but what the Financial and Fiscal Commission also showed is that these municipalities, they owe 97 billion, but they themselves are owed 217 billion. And the biggest people who owe them are the households, 158.3 billion, and businesses. So the other elephant in the room, as I write in my Business Day column yesterday, is that electricity prices have increased by 1,000% since 2007. Electricity is unaffordable for households and businesses. So that is the commercial. Sorry, the liberalization of the electricity sector. The side order that comes off that is these soaring electricity prices, which are completely unaffordable. They're causing more damage to this economy than anything else. People talk about the. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, now I think we'll have to leave it there, but I think we've got the gist of it. Duma Kubule is an independent economist.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, I asked the question a little earlier on, have we run out of problems to solve in Gauteng? What about the aging grid and the leaks as far as water infrastructure is concerned? The aging pipe networks, the unaddressed leaks, right? The pumping stations that fail. That's just one example. Forget crime, forget high unemployment, forget roads, forget public health and food safety and so many others. Mike Moriarty now is the chief whip for the DA in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. He joins us as we explore this issue of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Speaker, who went on a jaunt with some members, with some senior managers to Venezuela, almost 6 million rand on what was meant to be a 4-day trip. And it never really even materialized in the way that it was intended. Mike, this is an unbelievable story.
Yes, it is incredible, but when you see it in the context of past behavior, Bongani, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely appalling. But on another level, it's not surprising. What we've often seen with these study tours is that the ANC councillors or members of the legislature like to go to places where there's some kind of affinity on ideology basis. There's an affinity for Venezuela and Cuba and Russia and so on, and we've seen a spate of those in the past couple of years.
All right, let's just take our listeners through what we're talking about for anybody who hasn't followed it. So essentially, the speaker led what was meant to be a 12-member delegation to some international tourism fair in Venezuela at the end of last year, and it cost the tidy sum of almost 6 million rand. It was all to deepen diplomatic relations and soft power between Gauteng and Venezuela. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Well, it is unbelievable for two reasons. One is Venezuela really a trading partner for South Africa? Arguably, it is not. The other thing is that you've got the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. It's their job to do this kind of stuff. The Speaker of a legislature is the presiding officer of a bunch of people that make laws. Then it's not a person who's in executive office that deals with departments of tourism and other things. There is a department in the Gauteng provincial government called the Department of Economic Development. If there was ever a case for a tourism indaba that he should be present there, it should have been through that Department of Economic Development, because there's an agency that reports to it called the Gauteng Tourism Agency, but it shouldn't have been the person who presides over a bunch of lawmakers.
What's unbelievable is that as it happened, they didn't even attend the fair, because as soon as they landed, they were sent back by embassy staff because of travel restrictions that were imposed on Venezuela by the U.S. government.
Well, unfortunately for the members of the ANC that like to go on these trips, the level of disorganization is palpable. So again, this is not surprising, but it's an absolutely appalling waste of taxpayer money.
Do we know how many members of this delegation actually landed in Venezuela?
Not at this point, but there have been reports put to the relevant committee that oversees the Office of the Speaker, and they have been very excoriating in their address of this matter. And what we've done from the DA is we've actually issued a motion of censure against the Speaker.
What's also, of course, at issue is the per diem spend, right? This is the subsistence and travel amount. And if all 12 members, and we know some didn't go because of exactly those travel restrictions, but if all 12 members did land in Venezuela, they would each have pocketed around, 125,000 rand every single day they were away.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure that that's the daily amount, but certainly they would have pocketed that amount for the duration of their travel. Each. Yeah. And, think about it. That's probably for somebody on minimum wage. That's probably about 500 people, if my maths very quickly in my head is correct. It might be a little less than that, maybe 50, but it's a lot of people whose wages would take them to that amount of money. And here goes on each and every one of those individuals, yes.
Quite unbelievable. Mike Moriarty, Chief Whip for the DA in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, as political parties call for the Gauteng Speaker to be censured.
EWN Business.
29 after 7. Let's get into business news now. Muteo Kharipe, Kumba Iron Ore reporting lower earnings hit by iron ore prices.
Yeah, Kumba reporting a 41% drop in first half profit. The miner was hit by a stronger rand and weaker iron ore prices. Revenue at the company fell 11% to 30 billion rand as the rand strengthened by 11% against the US dollar over the period. Iron ore sales slipped 1% to 18.6 metric tons, while cash costs climbed 18%, driven by higher fuel, freight, and raw material expenses linked to the conflict in the Middle East. Now, Kumba declared an interim dividend of R7.90 per share, down from R16.60 per a year ago.
R16.60
a year ago.
The markets?
Well, a fall in tech shares for the Asia markets this morning, really rattling things there. South Korea's Kospi reversed course to fall more than 8%, dragged down by index heavyweights, the chip maker SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics, triggering a trading halt in the country. A trading halt is a temporary stop in trading for a specific security or an entire market. This happens when there's pending news or sudden volatility. The small cap Kosdaq similarly plunged 8%. Japan's Nikkei also down 2.2%, while the mainland Chinese CSI 300 was down by more than 0.5%.
Your indicators?
The rand 16.71 against the US dollar, 19.06 against the euro, 22.23 against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,029 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,597. Brent crude now at $87 a barrel, up 3.5% this morning. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. Mr. Zulu, what you have at this hour?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Action SA has proposed legislation to regulate the lobbying profession to ensure that influencing government is done in a transparent manner to prevent state capture. The party says its lobbying transparency bill will also establish South Africa's first comprehensive statutory framework, and this will promote transparency in political and executive decision making. This follows reports that a company chaired by former DA leader Tony Leon tried to influence Communications Minister Solly Malatsi on behalf of satellite internet provider Starlink. Babalondenze reports.
Action SA yesterday announced its plan to introduce the Lobbying Transparency Bill, a private member's bill targeting the lobbying profession. The party says the bill is the second bill in its transparency package of bills aimed at creating greater ethics and transparency. The party's parliamentary leader, Ethel Trollip, says the bill is a response to decades of questionable lobbying practices and not just the resolved communications controversy.
It's because of too many years of having to endure dark and dubious lobbying that is undeclared.
Party whip Lerato Ngobeni says there are several examples of how influencing the state can go wrong.
From the arms deal and the era of stage capture to the Digital Vibes scandal, and most recently, allegations involving resolved communications.
The party says the bill will now be put out for public comment. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
KwaZulu-Natal police have seized cocaine worth more than 1 million rand and arrested 3 alleged drug dealers in Kingsburg. The suspects, aged between 20 and 34, were allegedly using a holiday apartment to process, package and sell the consignment last night. Police also seized 2 machines, a scale and drugs with an estimated street value of more than 1 million rand. The 3 suspects are expected to appear in the Amanzi Mtoti Magistrates Court today on charges of dealing in drugs. KZN police spokesperson Paul Magwaza.
When they entered the apartment, they found the suspect packing drugs. One suspect attempted to flee but was quickly apprehended. Police searched the rooms and found raw cocaine with the estimated street value of over 1 million rand. 2 stealing machines and scale were also found in the room.
Gauteng Health Department has condemned the theft of 45 boxes of A4 printing paper at a community health centre in Hillbrow. 3 expanded public works program workers were arrested in connection with the theft earlier this month when a security officer raised the alarm. The department says the suspects returned only 21 of the 45 boxes. Department spokesperson Steve Mabona.
The department maintains a zero-tolerance approach to theft, fraud, corruption, and any form of misconduct involving public resources.
And train operations have been suspended in Japan's city of Kumamoto following an earthquake that claimed 13 lives. The 7.1 magnitude quake struck yesterday afternoon, causing widespread damage, sparking fires and leaving tens of thousands of homes without power. Authorities say a mall was gutted by a gas explosion, collapsing ceilings and walls, and a factory was also damaged. The rail operator says 7 passengers were injured by the earthquake on bullet trains. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 3 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 20.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Germiston. We've got an accident reported on the N17 West. It's right after Osborne Road, causing delays. There's also queuing traffic on the R24 West towards the N12 merge. That's due to roadworks there. While heading towards the Sunning Hill area, do expect delays on the N3 North approaching the Baku interchange.
The top story this hour, Action SA has proposed legislation to regulate the lobbying profession.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
I'm Adam Craker. I'm one of the directors of Josie My Josie. I actually did the very first Walk the Talk, and I just really wanted to see this happen again. We decided to partner because we really wanted to bring people back into the inner city. Just amazing to see how many people have come out to see Josie in transformation, and just really wonderful. And I think 702 has done a fantastic job at building the expectations behind this event.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Just Andalex it.
Do you have a sore throat? Andalex C Oral Rinse and Spray provides targeted relief from 1 minute that lasts up to 4 hours. It reduces pain and inflammation while numbing the affected areas. It also kills viruses and bacteria that cause sore throats to help prevent serious throat infections. Andalex, South Africa's #1 choice for sore mouth and throats. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Just Andalex it.
Andalex, a proud sponsor of The Masked Singer Season 3.
That's Amanda, before she got naked. When the power tripped, Amanda felt more helpless than when her mom-in-law called her lasagna different. So Amanda got naked. She got car and home insurance at a lower premium and can now call an electrician anytime via the Naked app. There we go. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely, you. How sharp. You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisekai.
Scholar Transport drivers. Every winter morning, our children depend on you to get them to school safely. But overloaded vehicles and rushing against time puts lives at risk. Remember, our children are not cargo. Overloading reduces your ability to stop on wet or icy roads. Drive responsibly. Arrive safely. Protect every child, every trip. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. That's what I will always argue, that if you take money from the municipalities, you're actually punishing the poor, not saving them. It's like when Treasury takes money back to Treasury because somebody didn't spend that money. Who are you punishing exactly? A person who didn't spend the money, or the poor that needs to get service delivery? Because if you take it back, we are punished twice. It's like Competition Commission. When they find that somebody has increased the price of bread, and when they find them, they fine them the money. But the public don't get anything out of it, while they were being robbed by that price hike. It's the same thing, same logic. So you are punishing the poor, and the departments of the government are owing municipalities. Why don't they go after those to say, pay municipalities so that municipalities cannot run out of money, instead of doing this, the running around. And the campaigning ANC is good for us. Do it, Minister. Sindile.
Good morning, Bongani team. Bongani, you know what? I hear these complaints about Treasury cutting funding to municipalities, and people saying that they're breaking the law to fix a wrong, something like that. It's not as if the money, when it is released to the municipalities, it does what it is intended for. It's not if the people are now suffering more because the money is not there. People have been suffering all. Even if the money is there, they suffer.
So exactly the point then, why would you threaten the municipalities with this action if you then don't follow through with it? But there were concerns, of course, as you heard from Duma Kubule, raised by the Financial and Fiscal Commission. This is the advisory body that tells Parliament and other legislatures about essentially how they are to conduct their businesses, particularly their business when it comes to revenue. And they warned against this move.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Mpeleche. Mpeleche, please give us today's answer.
Morning, Bongani. Today's answer is 17 weeks.
17 weeks. And tell me, Mpeleche, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I have.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Mpeleche has given us the answer, 17 weeks. What might the question be? Call us if you know on 011 8830
EWN Sport.
All right, Cindy Paluta, the Commonwealth Games. Team South Africa really making a strong showing.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't send a very big team, so 16 medals so far. I think they'll be happy. 5 more medals from the pool last night, including gold for Lara van Niekerk in the 50-meter breaststroke.
Qualifying second, I knew it was going to be harder than I thought, but I'm just really grateful that I defended my title. So, especially after missing out on the 100, the 50 meant a lot to me.
The 4 silver medals won by Amy Canny in the 200-meter individual medley, the 4x100-meter medley relay team, Paralympians Nathan Hendricks and Danica Venke in the 50-meter S13 freestyle. Disappointments on the athletics track in the men's 100-meter gift. Lowatlela finished 4th. Cheswell Johnson was 8th, while Bradley Nkwana disqualified in the semi-final for a false start. In netball, the Spar Proteas unbeaten in their 3 games played so far. Yesterday's 48-point win over Northern Ireland. Tonight, they face world number 1 Australia at 10 o'clock. Coach Jenny van Dijk.
I mean, this is just a competition of that nature, and if you rank 5th, then it means that you're going to play 2 very strong matches. Back-to-backs might be a little bit of a challenge, but that's also why we've been managing the load between our players and just expecting everybody to pull their weight.
Unbelievable upset at WAFCON last night. The defending champions and Africa's top side, Nigeria, lost to Malawi 3-2. Malawi playing in the tournament for the first time ever. Zambia hammered Egypt 6-0. Captain Barbara Banda scoring 4 goals there. The Betway Premiership opens this weekend. Orlando Pirates start their defence against Milford on Saturday. Coach Abdeslam Wadu on new signing Sebastian Pedersen.
The scouting department of the club is looking for a profile that can help us to increase the average of the convention. As you know, last season we were the team in the continent who has the best average of chances. We have some good players with us, and I think he's integrating the group.
And the Springboks are in camp ahead of next week's test match against Argentina in Buenos Aires. Coach Rassie Rasmus on the injury list.
Only 2 guys that won't be available. There's obviously the long-term injuries to Kwacha and Erge and so on. But guys that we thought that will return this year, it's only Ox and Franco Mostert that is not available for next week's game. Apart from that, and everybody, Ethan Kane and Sasha, Eben, Lewitt, Mornay, everybody's ready.
Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 minutes before 8 o'clock. Let's get a traffic update now. Amor, Rand Park Ridge. There are delays in that area. What's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. An accident reported on the N1 North. It's right after Beyers Nodia Drive. It's causing heavy delays. As a result, Beyers Nodia Drive in itself is heavily backed up just as you approach the N1 exit. There's also queuing traffic along Easter Road Drive and CR Swart Drive. This is due to peak time delays within the Rand Park Ridge area. Then, if you are traveling on the Mike 1 North, we've got delays between Boyson's Road and Empire Road. Peak time delays there. There's also peak time pressure piling up along the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
As a business owner, you're always looking for ways to save money. But have you looked at saving on your business insurance premium? With Outsurance Business Insurance, you could save big, like Bosmansdam High School.
We were with our previous insurance for 10 years plus before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We are saving 3,705 Rand per month.
It was so quick and easy, we should have switched sooner.
Ready to switch and save? Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Today, standing out in the job market is more important than ever. Postnet and Huru are here to help you succeed. Did you know that many organizations require a criminal record check before hiring? From educators to retailers, drivers to lawyers and more, Postnet has you covered. From just 335 Rand, add a Huru criminal record check to your CV and stand out from the crowd. Visit your nearest Postnet today. Postnet, helping you succeed.
Oh, the shelf was leaning sideways, the tap was dripping slow. I said, relax, I've got this, I know just where to go. I went to the crazy store, a screwdriver's all I need. Somehow I left with so much more, a torch, a broom, a book to read.
That's crazy, crazy, that's the crazy store. Went in for one small thing, came out with so much more.
The crazy store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 17 weeks. Let's go to Mark in Roodepoort. Mark, what's the question?
Hi, good morning, Bongani. The question is, how many weeks did Little Naz's number 1 hit Old Town Road spend on the Billboard Hot 100?
Yeah, indeed. It was made off $30 backing track, and it's become one of the highest charting pop songs ever. In fact, broke the record. 17 weeks. Mark, congratulations. You walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to
so much,
Outsurance
Bongani.
and 702.
I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I've been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch. Now, can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Riding on a tractor, lean all in my blood.
17 weeks equal to just under 4 full months. That's how long this song reigned at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. And of course, today, Mark walks away with 2,000 Rand. Now, you may not be able to drop the price of your child's school fees, but switching to Outsurance, well, you could drop the cost of your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 36-year-old Gil, who saves a jaw-dropping 471 Rand a month on a 2025 Hyundai i20. Don't pay more than you need to. Get a quote from Outsurance to switch and save today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Do you ever get that wake up, dress up, show up kind of energy? Well, it's final voter registration weekend. On the 1st and 2nd of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., registration stations open across South Africa. So show up and register to vote in the upcoming local government elections. Call 0800 11 8000. Visit elections.org.za or WhatsApp 0600 8800 for more info. This message is brought to you by the IEC.
Time. When you're a kid, it moves slower than a sloth trying to get through airport security. There is just so much of it. Skip forward a few years to your 20s. Time is still your friend. It says have some balance. Go party and have fun. Then your 30s hit. And time suddenly steps on the accelerator like it's trying to catch a traffic light before it goes red. 40s. Now time is moving faster than your 10-year-old on a sugar high. 50. You're desperately trying to save as much as you can, but time is moving so fast. And all you can think is, where did all the time go? That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time for some much-deserved you time. Now, isn't that a compelling enough reason to invest? Ellen Gray. Long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
I like this Action SA bill, looking for more transparency to limit lobbying. At the same time, maybe they should stop blocking Bungani's investigation into funding of political parties, because as far as I understand it, it's just them and EFF trying to stop that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the day.
Good morning, Bongani. Hope you're well. This Venezuela trip has so many different components of it to unpack. And if we just look at the per diems, you mentioned an amount of about 125,000 Rand per person over those few days that they were there. I'm keen to understand if they actually declared those daily per diems and if the amount in excess of the SARS daily rate has actually been paid over to SARS as tax. Because apart from them just squandering, in my opinion, money on a business trip / holiday, there's definitely an element of tax evasion, I think. Yusuf from Johannesburg.
Well, it's unclear because, until we get more details, because we know that not every one of those members of the delegation even got to Venezuela. So Would they have received those per diem amounts even if they didn't leave? A lot more details to come from this. The Gauteng Provincial Legislature Speaker, Morakani Musupia, really now facing the heat from opposition parties over this trip to Venezuela that in the final analysis didn't really even happen because of that restriction by the US. They were sent packing essentially and had to leave Venezuela in the middle of the night. So much wrong with that story given the challenges Gauteng faces.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
All right, let's catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
The Sandpaper Gate, and then there's this.
Yeah. Excuse me, because I'm feeling a little ill this morning. Had a cough there. This is an interesting one. It's between Saltburn and Norton Cricket in the UK. They are teams in Division 2. And the Saltburn player has been accused of cheating. So what happened was somebody had taken a video of, obviously, a bowler coming down, running, bowling, and then the batsman attempting to hit the ball, misses the ball and goes to the wicketkeeper. But then you notice that this one player, as soon as the ball passes the edge of the batsman's bat, he clicks his finger to,
to create the sound.
To create the sound of the edge. And all the players appeal, and the umpire gives him out. And, I mean, the batsman obviously appealed and said, I didn't do it, but, you got to walk. You've been given out by the umpire. So now there's this massive investigation by both cricket unions, and they are looking into this matter to investigate and to bring all the parties involved. And, I mean, there's this video that you could see where you can see he's doing something with his fingers, that he's simulating a click. And what makes this even worse, now, in men's test cricket, the record for catches by a wicket keeper in an innings is 7 catches. This wicketkeeper who plays for Saltburn last weekend took 8 catches in an innings in a match for his team. Now, I don't know if there were many clicks there, but it's been alleged that in other matches there have been clicks simulating an edge off the batsman's bat. So just a terrible thing to do on a sports field and in amateur sport, right? And it makes me think about somebody who cheats, whether it's at a sports game, whether it's at a board game when you're playing at home, or maybe somebody cheating at work, takes your credit for whatever you did. It's a very bad thing on plight on their personality, right? So I wanted to ask about what is the most memorable cheating incident that you have witnessed. You've been playing paddle, tennis, golf, and you know that somebody has just cheated. How did you handle it, and what did you do? Did you call them out there and then and say, no ways, you flipping cheating here, what are you doing? Or did you just let it go and sort of raise it afterwards, maybe quietly or whatever it may be? Let's hear that. And even in family instances, I'm sure one family member, if you're playing with so-and-so, they're going to cheat.
When we were kids, we used to play cards. It was a big thing in my home. Yeah. And whenever my mother was losing, she would just basically scatter all the cards.
No ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we used to do when we were kids. Do you have that person that you play with that doesn't necessarily play fair? All right, to crust or not to crust? We've had this debate before, but let's try again.
This is it just gets me every time I see it. So the crust on the loaf of bread, why do people discard it? Or when you come to the end of the loaf of bread, you always see that the 2 crusts are in the packet. But if you have a baguette or a lovely ciabatta, I mean, in terms of me, I'm the first to want to smash those crusts on those breads. But if it's a normal brown bread or white bread, I do not eat the crust. I leave it there. And
why don't you eat it?
I don't know. It's just, I think maybe it's a texture thing when, if it's, let's say you're not even toasting it, it just feels hard compared to the normal slices of bread. I mean, there's no scientific reason
so
as to
judging
why.
you.
It's just so silly. And maybe it's something I learned from my mom or my dad. But I just don't eat the crusts. I mean, I'm the only one in the house that eats the bread. But the reason we're talking here is this woman, she collects all the crusts from the breads that she buys during the week. They obviously eat a lot of bread. And then she takes all the crusts and she puts them into a plastic bag, and then she eats them that way, which is bizarre, to be honest.
It's not.
But yeah,
the crust is obviously the end, if you will, of the bread, the outer skin.
Yes, the outer side
of the loaf of the bread. That's where the most complex flavors and texture of the bread are to be found.
I just can't
Eat your crust.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should start eating the crust. I can't waste
Sit in your
food,
corner
Bombers.
and eat your crust. Do you crust? Do you eat the crust? Are you one of those who discards it? Because, I don't know, you've got too much food, clearly. Let us know.
702 Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa, you look guilty.
Huh.
Do you eat your crust?
Of course I do, Bongani.
Good.
It's the most delicious part.
Good.
You butter
You
it.
looked guilty.
You can take Bongani. I don't waste.
You look like you don't eat your crust.
Oh, I definitely do.
All right.
Bongani.
What other feedback do you have?
Well, Bongani, listeners are reacting to Mateo's question this morning about why they continue to pay for pay TV. And we had a message from Usichaba who says he keeps on paying for his DSTV subscription because mainly he likes the sports channels, the news channels, cartoon channels for his kids, 157 for his wife. And also, Bongani, strong reaction did come through on your discussion about workplace perks that are being abused. And many did indicate that a lot of us are abusing work from home policies. We're not doing what we are supposed to be doing at home, and those privileges will be lost if we don't have a little bit of discipline. So guys, please, let's do our jobs at home. We still need to deliver on what we need to deliver at the end of the day. Okay?
There's probably someone listening to us right now, supposedly working from home, who's not meant to be listening to the radio.
And I must say, I also enjoy work from home. At times, enjoying those kind of perks. I do enjoy those perks as well. And also, Bongani, listeners are also reacting to service delivery in Gauteng, indicating that it seems like our government has lost touch with its citizens, accusing our leaders of spending too much on their trips and forgetting the overall troubles that we face on a day-to-day basis in Gauteng: potholes, traffic lights, refuse collection. It's absolutely bad. And we also had a voice note coming through from Usamuel, who actually indicated to us an abuse of state resources. Let's take a listen.
Hi, good morning, Bongs. What a shame what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a police vehicle, Johannesburg Central, a marked vehicle full of school children. They are dropping school children from one school to another. Are they using this vehicle for private purposes? Thanks, Anonymous from Joburg.
Wow, a police van being used as scholar transport.
Imagine. That's an abuse of state resources right there.
Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for the latest eyewitness news. And coming up, the 5 Mazda Wonder experiences at 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk could make you a winner of 10,000 Rand. Plus, there's another 10,000 Rand in cash in store for the person who enjoyed a truly scenic walk and took place at the 8-kilometer route. This is at the Walk the Talk.
This is EWN.
Andrew Johnson's Madanga appearance is expected to come to an end, and more evidence is anticipated at Ket Matlala's trial. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson is expected to wrap up her testimony at the Madlanga Commission today following a grueling appearance over the past 5 days. She told the Madlanga Commission yesterday that she's not aware of a complaint laid by Sergeant Faninkosi about IDEC investigators who allegedly intimidated him. Nkosi says he was visited by 9 officials at Jose Mampuru prison earlier this month who questioned him about his relationship with alleged crime kingpin Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. Nkosi is in prison following his arrest earlier this year relating to multiple charges. Afara Mushwana has more.
Controversial cop Sergeant Faninkosi says senior IDEC investigator Sanil Belochin was the only one who introduced himself and spoke to him. Nkosi says Belochin threatened to charge him with corruption for being in possession of Vusmuzi Kat Matlala's credit card. He says Belochin asked him if he knew about a corrupt relationship between Matlala, National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola and Head of Crime Intelligence Dumsani Kumalo. Nkosi says he didn't. Andrea Johnson, who was head of IDEC at the time, says she didn't sanction this and it's not the unit's policy to interview suspects in the absence of the illegal representatives.
This, if it is true, is conduct really unbecoming and would have to be dealt with because there's no logic for wanting to do this with the urgency and with the measure of pestering.
The visit took place on the same day Matlala's plea deal on his police corruption case with IDEC collapsed. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Staying with issues related to Matlala, a police officer, Pimi Alfred Sikhobela, is expected to return to the Johannesburg High Court today for a third day of testimony in the trial within the trial in the case involving the alleged world crime figure. The proceedings are focused on whether evidence obtained during the arrest of accused number 1 Musa Kekana was lawfully obtained and can be admitted at trial. Kekana and Matlala, along with 3 others, face a combined 25 charges, including conspiracy to murder and attempted murder, fraud and money laundering. Demakasile Shuru has more.
Sekhobela, who fielded tough questions on the stand yesterday, insisted police had more than enough evidence to obtain a search warrant, telling the court no magistrate in South Africa would have refused to issue one based on the information available to him. He says police could not afford to wait for a warrant because the unguarded vehicle believed to have been used in a murder in Vereeniging could have been moved or crucial evidence destroyed. The court heard that when Kekana was arrested in a Mercedes-Benz Viano, police recovered number plates, cell phones and a small bag. The admissibility of those items, along with a prohibited assault rifle and ammunition, as well as a stolen vehicle seized during the operation, are at the center of this trial within a trial. Sekhobela also testified that he seized a mustard-colored top allegedly worn by Kekana for gunshot residue testing after investigators suspected he had been the shooter in the Vereeniging murder. Demakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
The state star witness in the case against former National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula has been pressed to give further details about a reference to a wig as an alleged code of a bribe. Mapisa-Nqakula is on trial for allegedly soliciting 4.5 million rand from Nombasa Chondwa Ndlovu, an SANDF contractor. Ndlovu, who turned state witness, is under cross-examination and has been asked to explain her allegations against Mapisa-Nqakula, who was defense minister at the time of the alleged crimes. Khomotso Modise has more.
One of the incidents that Nombasa Ntsondwa Ndlovu has testified on is how Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula requested a wig from her in November 2018, which she knew was code for a bribe. She says she delivered 300,000 rand in cash at the OR Tambo International Airport in February 2019, but she says she put an actual wig over the money, which was stashed in a silk bag. The former minister's lawyers have pointed out the details in the WhatsApp conversation about the wig, asking what color 4 meant and what she meant about delivering in 7 days. Ntsondwa Ndlovu says those details had no meaning. Mapisa-Nqakula insists the WhatsApp texts were about a literal wig, and that is all she received from Ntsondwa Ndlovu. Cross-examination continues this morning. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Gold is trading at $4,034.38 an ounce. The rand is at 16.72 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.07 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.24 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N17 West between Heidelberg Road and Osborne Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between Glenhove Road and Grayston Drive.
And in your sport, FIFA slammed for its proposed plan to sell stakes in the World Cup. Massive upset at WAFCON as newcomers Malawi beat Africa's champions Nigeria 3-2. And 5 more medals for Team South Africa at the Commonwealth Games overnight.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson is expected to wrap up her testimony at the Madlanga Commission today following a grueling appearance over the past 5 days.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 8 o'clock, the heat on IDEC head or former IDEC head or outgoing IDEC head, whichever you prefer, Andrea Johnson. That will finally, of course, wrap up at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today. There was an awkward moment where she was answering some questions yesterday and she says, I don't want to waste the commission's time. And the commissioner says, well, even if you do, you're coming back tomorrow. Yeah, ne? What else do you say about this? Really, what else can you say about this?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Taking your responses to all the issues we've raised on the show, including, of course, South Africa trying to ease tensions diplomatically on the continent. Are we continuing to muck it up because of the politics that are involved? And what of the reaction of countries like Ghana and Nigeria? Are they also whipping up the frenzy for their own political benefit, not really keen to find out what the truth of the issues might be? And, of course, continuing with the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, yesterday one of the big talking points was around the political killings task team and what mandate IDEC might have had in specifically targeting that unit and trying to figure out who was appointed and for what reason. Yesterday, at some point, the chair of the commission, Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, having to step in and question Andrea Johnson around her decision to sign an April 2025 summons targeting the disbanded political killings task team, and Johnson acknowledging that she should have probably probed matters a little more thoroughly, and she didn't. She couldn't remember why she didn't scrutinize the issues more thoroughly.
This morning, you can't get off that easily, Advocate Johnson. You basically suggested you were not really aware that as at the time you signed this summons, you were aware that there was any issue about the PKTT.
Correct.
And also that not only that, but that the issue raised some controversy, correct?
Correct.
Now, as someone who follows the media and with such wide coverage, and with you now accepting that you would have seen this, I want to understand why no alarm bells rang in your mind with regard to this issue. A very crucial issue affecting the criminal justice system. Why is that so?
There's one of two things, and it's not an excuse, Chair. Either I engaged with Mr. Peramal and was satisfied with whatever answer I got. However, it comes back to what I said. I was unaware of a PKTT investigation, and so I should have asked deeper questions. I cannot tell you why I didn't ask deeper questions.
Yeah, she was asked essentially why she wanted documents relating to the PKTT, and here when in fact it wasn't part of her investigation. And here, Justice Mandlanga says this stuff was already in the public domain. You are signing off these things. There's all of this controversy swirling around the PKTT. Why would you not think, hang on, are we playing into the hands of what is already out in the public domain and being alleged? And guys.
Is it what she doesn't recall, eh?
Can't recall. Huh?
Can't recall.
And guys, I can't recall. I can't recall what I can't recall. Didn't you say the other day she doesn't remember what she can't remember? You can't remember what you can't recall. Ay.
Let's talk. We're listening.
Good morning, Bongani and Kabazela. Good morning, 702 listeners. Funny you guys talk about the bread crust. You know, in my household, if the bread crust is gone, I won't eat the bread. If the front one is gone, I'm going to go right at the back to get the crust. I really, really enjoy the crust. I don't know why. I'll eat crust anytime. So I don't throw it away. If it's not there, then I won't eat bread.
And the team, I like my crust. If I get that somebody has eaten it already, I don't feel like I'm still enjoying the bread. I am the one who's eating the crust in here, in this house. It's me and my grandson, Wanda. But he also likes it, but always he gets that I've got the crust already, has been eaten. I like my crust. Ooh la la, every day we eat bread in the morning.
I remember in the old days of Hillbrow, Fontana Inn, right? They used to make but the most amazing bread. They had their own bakery, and buying Fontana bread just after it had come out of the oven, the first thing you wanted, because it was still warm, you wanted a slice of the crust. And you would butter it, and you would put jam, and it would be just the most yummy, delicious thing. Muteo, to crust or not to crust?
To crust, I love my crust. I mean, my wife was saying to me a few weeks ago, why do you like the crust so much? I never used to get this in my lunch. In fact, that's why I don't like crust. It's so hard. And I'm like, what do you... It's
don't know what you're missing out on.
Same bread. It's the same bread.
Amo, to crust or not to crust?
To crust. And the only reason why I crust now is because when we were growing up, the crust was always left for my brother. Because I don't know why, I don't know who passed that law, but it was just for him, right? We would eat the bread, the crust was for him. Or when you open the bread, the crust, you spare it for him. So because of that trauma,
You now have to have the crust.
I eat the crust.
Do you invite him over?
Of course not.
No, I would invite him over and still eat the crust.
Hi, Bongani. It's Ozin Centurion. But I feel like we just became like complaining society too much. So what if the school of my kids is along the way, and then I'm just dropping them, then drive to work with the police van? What's wrong with that? I don't see a problem with that.
Bongs, a very quick one. Let's just not be quick to judge what we see on the face value. It's not misuse of state vehicles. There are other government departments which are permitted to use state vehicles to ferry members, kids to school. It could be in this case that's one of the arrangements, because I know Department of Water Affairs, they do that. I know Rand Water does that. I know Department of Correctional Services does that, and everything else. Chances are it might be maybe with SAPS, considering their geographical location. It could be that there are arrangements made for them to use that. So before we call it misuse of state vehicles, let's just get it straight and find out what it is. Awe, Jeff Mbinga, Ndeval.
All right.
Good morning, Bongani. It's Chris here. I tend to disagree with that person who's reporting that the police are using the vehicles to drop kids at school from one school to another. There is always a reason police to do so. Let's not judge our police. They're probably doing something that is of justice. Maybe the vehicle that was transporting the kids had an accident or had a breakdown, and they cannot let these kids to be stranded if the police vehicle is available. Please, let's check first before we make up our judgments. Thank you.
All right, 3 voice notes responding to an earlier one where somebody anonymously said they were witnessing a police van being used essentially as scholar transport, dropping kids at different schools. And those 3 voice notes taking umbrage with that initial one. So let's play it back again. Let's just make sure that we're all on the same page. KG?
Hi, good morning, Bongs. What a shame what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a police vehicle, Johannesburg Central, a marked vehicle full of school children. They are dropping school children from one school to another. Are they using this vehicle for private purposes? Thanks, Anonymous from Joburg.
How do you defend that? Because even if you want to argue that these may be children of officers, presumably there'd be a proper scholar transport vehicle that is used in the correct way. I don't think police vans that are usually used to transport suspects are meant to transport children from different schools. We got 3 voice notes defending it.
I mean, the other suggestion was that the normal transport that the kids take had broken down and the cops were being of service.
In a school van.
I'm just telling you
so
what the voice note
What happens
said.
if there's an accident?
I'm just telling you.
What happens if there's an accident?
With who?
With this vehicle, this police vehicle, with kids in the back
That would
of
be
the
rather
van.
unfortunate, Bongani.
So I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at the spirited defense. So we get a voice note from somebody who says, I am watching it with these 2 eyes. I'm a eyes wam. Hey? I'm seeing this.
Yeah, and not just one school, from one school to the
To
next.
another.
Yeah.
And we get 3 spirited voice notes saying, what is he talking about?
They're helping the
We're
kids.
not there,
Mm.
but it must be this or it must be that. And we wonder why. Hey? It's not Winnie Mandela who has multiplied. It might be Andrea Johnson who has multiplied.
EWN Traffic.
18 after 8, the CWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Amu?
Well, Bongani, that accident we spoke about earlier in Rand Park Ridge has been cleared. Traffic is now flowing through the N1 North. But if you are traveling on the Mark 1 North, we still have got peak time delays between Glenhove Road and the Grayston Drive off-ramp. There's also still moving traffic on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. This is due to roadworks. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
25 minutes listening to your favorite playlist goes by quickly, but 25 minutes stuck in traffic, well, that feels twice as long. Thankfully, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to save the day. Heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion for the past 20 years. Outsurance pointsmen helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. Another way you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
If you have unresolved disputes involving your bank, your insurer, your pension fund, or financial advisor, well, you can complain to a financial ombud for free. South Africa's financial ombud system, overseen by the Ombud Council, provides free, fair, and impartial dispute resolution. So whether it's through the National Financial Ombud or the Phase Ombud or the Pension Funds Adjudicator, help is available. Visit ombudcouncil.org.za for more information.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. I see it's payday. Hey, but they didn't pay you nicely, you. Our shop. You know who will pay you nicely? The National Lottery. If you turn payday into playday. Play today, play the lotto, play Powerball, and get paid nicely. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Dis-Chem Foundation's Million Comforts initiative began by helping change the lives of girls. Now it's asking a bigger question. What if we gave boys the same opportunity to thrive? Too many boys grow up believing they have to hide their emotions and face life's challenges alone. That's exactly what the Dis-Chem Foundation is working to change. So today on the Afternoon Drive with John Perlman, we'll explore how Million Comforts is helping boys build confidence, resilience, and the skills they need for a brighter future. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and although it is now already Wednesday, I'm still not over what we all did as thousands of 702 landers and Joburgers in the Walk the Talk this Sunday. Now, one of the things you would certainly have enjoyed is the 5 Mazda Wonder experiences at the 702 My Jozi Walk the Talk. The idea, of course, was to share your wonder moment on social media, and you could be a winner of 10,000 Rand. You, of course, to tag Mazda South Africa and follow them on the socials and talk about your wonder moment. And for that, there's 10,000 Rand up for grabs. But that's not all. There's more besides. One of the things that was an incredible feature of the Walk the Talk is that we have 10,000 Rand for people who participated in the 8-kilometer route. But it's not just the usual. We've flipped the script, turned it upside down, turned it inside out. Typically, the prize would go to the person who's first across the finish line. But for those of you who are on the 8-kilometer route, the prize for the person who crossed the finish line last is 10,000 Rand. And in the studio with me is the winner, Abilio.
Yes.
You are in studio with us. You walked the 8-kilometer route.
Yes.
You were the last across the finish line?
Certainly.
Did you even know that that's what could happen?
No, until I was in the stadium.
You were just walking?
I was walking.
Happily, taking in the sights and the sounds?
Not so happily, but...
after 8 kilometers, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I'm 78.
78 years old. What made you decide to do the Walk the Talk this weekend? Yeah?
Let's go. And the challenge, I'm in a refitness program, if you can put it that way. And I did it.
At 78 years old. Slowly. Well,
in the end.
For being the last across the finish line on the 8-kilometer route, I have for you a check for 10,000 Rand.
That's marvelous.
From Mazda. Isn't that absolutely fantastic?
Fantastic.
Oh, man. Congratulations to you. And the 5 winners, of course, on social media who have posted their highlights and their moments of wonder. You can visit mazda.co.za and follow at Mazda SA on social media.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Catching up now with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start with this earthquake in Japan. This is worrying.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got the classic race against time now to get people out of the rubble trapped inside this collapsed shopping centre in Kumamoto, and also a factory nearby, which was also partially collapsed because a chimney fell on top. One witness reported the entire second floor of the shopping mall had given way. Almost impossible to imagine. Although one witness talked about how the solid ground just suddenly turned into a moving mass. We've seen that, haven't we? When solid earth in front of you looks like a wave, a liquid wave. The earthquake was 6.8 magnitude, so not the biggest number, but of course it's always about how close to the surface it is and how close to human beings it is. So there's certainly dramatic footage of shopping centre where the children are crying and things are falling off the shelves. At this stage, we know the death tolls reached 13, but let's hope they can get more people out alive from the rubble.
Oh, it's a beautiful game, Adam, but is it for sale?
Well, it appears it is, or at least part of it is, according to Gianni Infantino, who's seeking private investment in the World Cup. It's thought that maybe $10 billion could be there to, quote, gain football development funding. It has to, of course, go to a vote of the 211 member nations of FIFA, and you can bet that Mr. Infantino will be promising dosh to any number of countries, and it might make a difference, but there might also be plenty of countries going, hang on a moment, we don't want essentially venture capitalists taking over. They already control plenty of clubs and all sorts of other parts of football. We don't want them taking over the beautiful game and the beautiful World Cup. There's a very cozy relationship, maybe an overly cozy relationship, given how cozy Gianni Infantino is with Donald Trump, because the venture capitalist firm he's talked about was founded by Joshua Kushner, the brother of Donald Trump's son-in-law. So you get the idea that they've had some chats. Here's a statement from UEFA, Europe's governing body on this. The soul and governance of football are not assets to trade. None of us are the owners of football. And the first, as far as I can tell, world leader to pipe up on this, the UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham, has written, football does not belong to investors. It belongs to people who fill the stands week in, week out, come rain or shine. He's right, apart from how much money there is already in football. Do we want it? Do we want a privatized World Cup? Oh my God.
I'm not a cat person, but even I, Adam, find this story quite deplorable.
Yeah, there's something about this, isn't there? Wildfires, we know, have been raging, in particular in France, Spain, and Italy. And in Italy, officials are investigating whether the flames may have been spread deliberately in a harrowing way. So investigators believe arsonists could have been tying flammable soaked rags onto the tails of cats and then chasing the cats across fields. Domenico Costarella from a civil protection agency in Italy reckons that the cats were released into the fields to spread the fire. Of course, the cats are running away from the fire that's tied to their tails. They're offering a reward for information on this. Firefighters in Calabria in southern Italy say that they have fought 160 fires in the last 24 hours alone. And also, this would not be the first incident of cats being used to fan the flames. It apparently happened around Mount Vesuvius in Naples 10 years ago. It's unthinkable. It's not just cat cruelty, of course, it's also human cruelty because of what they're doing with the fires.
Goodness me. And of course, if any firefighters were to lose their lives, it makes the story even more awful. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Let's talk retail. Mateo Haribe, Boxer slowing down sales.
Yeah, budget retailer Boxer says sales growth slowed in the first 4.5 months of its 2027 financial year. Sales grew by 7.2%. This was down from 10.9% in the previous year. Boxer says falling prices for staple foods reduced the value of customer groceries. The retailer says the slowdown was driven by sharp price deflation in key staple products like rice, flour, and maize meal. Boxer still plans to open more stores after opening 90 new stores during this period, including 6 superstores and 13 liquor outlets. It's reaffirmed its full-year target of opening 25 superstores and 35 liquor stores.
Now, if you own Kumba shares, your dividend this year is a little lower than it was last year.
Yeah, things not going well over the period. Mining group Kumba Iron Ore reporting a 41% drop in first half profit. The miner was hit by a stronger rand and weaker iron ore prices. Revenue fell by 11% to 30 billion rand as the rand strengthened by 11% against the US dollar. The miner also cited slightly lower iron ore prices and weaker sales volumes. Iron ore sales slipped by 1% to 18.6 million metric tons. Kumba declared an interim dividend of 7 rand 90 cents per share, down from 16 rand 60 cents a year ago.
Your indicators?
The rand at 16 rand 72 against the US dollar this morning, weaker at 19.06 against the euro and 22 rand 24 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,036 an ounce, while platinum is also down by more than 0.5% at exactly $1,600 an ounce. Brent crude now at $87 a barrel. More business from Stephen Crotus later this afternoon.
Time now for latest eyewitness news. To the news desk we go. Good morning, Sfisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The EFF has told the Constitutional Court that the Phala Phala Independent Panel report remains valid and operative, insisting Parliament's Impeachment Committee must continue its work. The party made the argument in its direct appeal to the Apex Court to challenge last week's Western Cape High Court ruling interdicting Parliament's Section 89 impeachment inquiry from proceeding. The EFF says the urgency of its appeal is because the High Court judgment has brought the work of the Section 89 committee to a complete halt. Babalundenza reports.
The EFF has joined the African Transformation Movement in its appeal directly to the Constitutional Court to challenge Friday's High Court decision. The EFF has applied to be recognized not merely as the fourth respondent, but as the third applicant, alongside ATM MP Vuyo Zungula and his party. In the papers, EFF leader Julius Malema says the minority finding correctly restated that with no finding that the independent panel report is unlawful, it must be treated as valid and the impeachment committee is entitled to rely on it. The EFF also states that the Constitutional Court has previously granted an appeal against an interim interdict. The party says the High Court failed to pay regard to the principle and that President Cyril Ramaphosa has no prospects of success in the review application. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News.
Limpopo police are searching for a person accused of attacking a 30-year-old man with an axe in Mahane village. The victim was attacked earlier this month while walking home from an initiation celebration. Police spokesperson Malisela Litwaba says the man succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
The motive for the attack remains unknown and no arrests have been made. Community members to assist police with information that could lead to the arrest of the suspect.
In KwaZulu-Natal, police there have seized cocaine worth more than 1 million rand and arrested 3 alleged drug dealers in Kingsburg. The suspects, aged between 20 and 34, were allegedly using a holiday apartment to process and package as well as sell the drugs last night. Police also seized 2 sealing machines and a scale. The suspects are expected to appear in the Amanzi Mtoti Magistrates Court today on charges of dealing in drugs. KZN Police spokesperson Paul Magwaza.
When they entered the apartment, they found the suspect packing drugs. One suspect attempted to flee but was quickly apprehended. Police searched the rooms and found raw cocaine with the estimated street value of over 1 million rand. 2 sealing machines and scale were also found in the room.
And the United Nations has warned that refugees fleeing persecution too often face restrictions on their right to seek asylum. With the debate around protection becoming increasingly politicized, UN Refugees Chief Bahan Sali urged the world to move from managing sky-high displacement to seeking to resolve it. Sali says people are forced to flee and become scapegoats for wider social, economic and political anxieties. He says refugees are portrayed as burdens or threats rather than as fellow human beings. This comes as UN stats show that some 117.8 million people worldwide were forcibly displaced from their homes at the end of last year, down from 2024's record of 123 million. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today, with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 3 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 20.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between Malibongo Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also slow-moving traffic on the Makwa North between Melrose and Sandton.
The top story this hour, the EFF has told the Constitutional Court that the Phala Phala Independent Panel report remains valid.
Big ideas need a bigger screen, one that locks in when you do. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra brings together Galaxy AI, powerful multitasking and all-day performance so you can work smarter, create faster and stay one step ahead. That's power maxing. Pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra and get up to 1,500 Rand worth of accessories. Offer available at participating stores until 12 August. T's and C's apply.
That's Fani before he got naked. Fani's insurance premium went up for no reason, irritating him more than when the boys ignored the really funny meme he posted in the group chat. What? So Fani got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Go Fani. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongani. I also think you two are also not being fair on this one. You are trying to defend this guy by saying he says he can see it with his own eyes. And the other people, the 3 are defending the police officers with their van, but they don't even know why. He himself doesn't even know why. None of those people know why it's happening. So none of us should be defending either one of them. We should just all leave it as it is. That's it.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Yeah, on this matter of the police vehicle, I tend to agree with the other callers. There's no context to that initial voice note. I mean, if it is something that happens every day or often, then perhaps we can question it. But I'd like to believe and agree that there must be a reason, there must be a context. Let's first understand before we make the judgment.
Good morning, Bongani and team. You know, this thing is very concerning. Issue regarding the police vehicle dropping off kids from one school to another. The risk factor. I mean, they could be driving along the road. Probably there's a robbery taking place, and the robbers see the car, the police car passing there, and it has children in it, and they just open fire, thinking that it's police there after them. So the risk factor, it's very high. It's very high. So it's very concerning. Thomas Soweto.
Bongani. Nagadibona le grocery ba yetsa grocery a vehicle ya JMPD iloko mogadi seat yetsa grocery a pakile next to me really to offload a trolley. Can I just remain anonymous, please?
Bongos, those who defend our policemen themselves or they benefit from it themselves. My wife is in the police, and let me tell you, not only school kids. Sometimes my wife comes and get dropped off at home, while this policeman have to go and pick up his wife nogal from work, taking her home. So yeah, no, it's been misuse. I know it firsthand. Have a good job, bye-bye.
So, for backstory context, we were talking about those perks or privileges. You love them, you appreciate them. They certainly help you in executing your duties at your workplace. And you fear that some of your colleagues may be abusing them. We got a voice note from a concerned listener who was watching a police van being used, he said, to drop off school children from different schools. Then we got a raft of voice notes saying, yeah, Papa, what concern is it of his? What if it's just good, kindly officers helping out kids who scholar transport might have broken down? And of course, the truth is, we can't get the full nuance and context in a 30-second voice note. But I just found it extraordinary that placing those children at some risk is something that some of us don't seem to think could be a problem.
EWN Sport.
Cindy, we were speaking about this with Adam Gilchrist just a few moments ago, but it's a real concern, I think, for football lovers around the world. What is FIFA trying to do? Just break it down for me.
So FIFA has proposed they want to sell part of the World Cup, like parts of it, to private companies. They say they will retain a majority share in this new FIFA Forward enterprise, offering minority stakes to external investment. They want to raise up to $4.2 billion. And of course, UEFA, which is the European governing body, has slammed the plan and literally stating the soul and governance of football are not assets to trade and insists the World Cup is not FIFA's to sell. FIFA arguing the investment would generate more funding for football development around the world.
Gosh, and in fact, I saw something about UEFA at some point talking really tough and threatening, not to attend or boycotting future World Cups because it's all about commercial rights.
It is.
But as Adam Gilchrist also told us, that one of the venture capitalists behind all of this is the brother to Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law
to
one Donald Trump. Connect the dots.
Yes.
Connect the dots.
Yes.
Connect the dots.
So, I mean, it's just very interesting that you have a World Cup in America where Gianni Infantino is seen countless times with Donald Trump, and now suddenly the FIFA World Cup is treated like a business asset, which it is. I mean, it is an asset, but not a commodity.
And of course, Infantino stands to get, a tidy sum.
Well, he's already getting
as a
probably
commission for all of this.
$1 gajillion a month.
There we go.
Anyway, tonight at WAFCON, Ghana plays Cape Verde, followed by Cameroon against Mali. Last night, Malawi pulled off the biggest upset. They beat the Africa's top side and the defending champions Nigeria 3-2. Zambia's captain Barbara Banda scored 4 goals in her team's 4-0 win over Egypt. At the Commonwealth Games, Team South Africa now has 16 medals. They lie 7th on the overall table. 5 more medals won in the pool last night, 4 of which were silver. There was 1 gold for Lara van Niekerk in the 50-meter breaststroke. While on the athletics track, medal hopeful Gift Leotlela finished 4th in the men's 100-meter final. There's netball tonight. The unbeaten Spa Proteas will play world number 1 Australia before facing world number 3 England tomorrow. Coach Jenny van Dijk.
I mean, this is just a competition of that nature, and if you rank 5th, then it means that you're going to play 2 very strong matches. Back-to-backs might be a little bit of a challenge, but that's also why we've been managing the load between our players and just expecting everybody to pull their weight.
Tonight, going for gold in the pool, Peter Kutzer and Ruard van Rennen in the men's 100-meter backstroke at 8 o'clock. Jessica Thompson and Caitlin DeLange in the 50 free at 8:43, followed by Calvin Justice in the 50 fly. And in Test cricket, the West Indies beat Pakistan by 90 runs in the first Test. Pakistan must set a target of 211. Player of the match, Justin Greaves, took 7 wickets. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Dad, how come Mum's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty, in it with you, all of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
This past Sunday, tens of thousands showed up to walk with the people, for our Josie in the 702 Josie, My Josie, Walk the Talk. And we thank everyone for taking the scenic route with us, creating unforgettable memories, showing the world that Joburg is more than just a city, but it's an energy that connects us all. So here's to Joburg, here's to the 702 Josie, My Josie, Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg.
Uncertainty is rising, but your business still has to deliver. Production targets need to be met. And when your workforce is out of balance, the cost is immediate. Too many employees? Costs climb. Too few? Productivity drops. Workforce staffing helps businesses stay in control with flexible workforce solutions, deployed within 48 hours nationwide. When demand changes, your workforce can change with it. Visit workforcestaffing.co.za. Stay productive, stay flexible, stay in control.
EWN Traffic.
Let's wrap up the morning's traffic, 16 before 9. Amo, it's been another busy one.
Indeed, Bongani. As we speak, we've got delays on the N1 North between Malibongo Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is just as you head towards Waterfall. An accident right at the Baku turnoff, causing delays coming out of Islandville Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South towards Samrenda Avenue. This is coming out of the Brockfontein interchange, causing delays as you leave the city of Tshwane. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The future belongs to those who are prepared to lead it. If you are ready to think bigger, lead with purpose, and to transform your career, head to Wits Business School's Open Day on Saturday, 1 August, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Explore their postgraduate diplomas, master's degrees, and executive education programs. Take the step towards becoming the leader the future requires. Register now at wbs.ac.za. Wits Business School, sculpting global leaders.
Right, gang. Are we all in? Liam? Here. Ethan? Here. Andrew? Here. Luca? Luca?
Yeah.
Amelia?
Yeah.
Violet?
Yeah, Mom.
Introducing the Chungun CS75 Pro, a powerful turbocharged engine, modern safety features, and room with 7 seats for everyone.
Hey, that's not everyone. You forgot Choppy, Mom.
Oh, Choppy. The all-new CS75 Pro.
Chungun. Driven to evolve.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to OUTsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Coming up between 9 and 12, Clement Manyatela, Clemzozo is in the house. Good morning.
Grand.
What's on the show?
Coming up on the show, we're going to start with the open line. So we'll have a conversation about the meeting South Africa had with Nigeria, and there are a few things we've committed to, right? I'm interested in what Nigeria has committed to, because if Nigeria has said to us, "Oh, we need better protection of our citizens in your country. We need you to take action against these quote unquote fringe groups that harass our nationals here in South Africa," what is Nigeria then committing to? Because there are issues that have been raised about some of their citizens here and how they behave in this country. That's a chat we're going to have. We'll also talk about cover-ups. Have you ever covered up a mistake that you made when you were at work? I'll tell you why I'm asking that question. But at 10 o'clock, we do our Healing Hour. It's our monthly feature. And today we're healing from secrets that we have kept from our loved ones. What's that one secret you've kept from, whether it's your family, the people you grew up with, or maybe the friends that you have? That's what we're healing from at 10. 11 o'clock, we do our Listener's Choice feature. Today we're discussing the circumstances under which an employee's pension benefits can be withheld. And we're having this conversation because a lot of people have been asking, but why are you not withholding Andrea Johnson's pension? And Mamuluku Kubai, when he was on my show this week, said, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We just can't do that in this context.
She said labor laws do apply to everyone. Are you going to play Babyface's Secrets in the Healing Hour?
Maybe I should.
Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. The total number of lotto winners to date is 1,886,946. And the total prize money won is over 149 million rand. So what must you do with this information? Inspire yourself and play the lotto. It's still just 5 rand. Catch the live draws on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Vandalism and theft of water infrastructure affects everyone. Damage to pipes, meters, valves, reservoirs, and other critical infrastructure can result in water outages, low pressure, sewer spillages, and costly repairs that impact communities across Johannesburg. So Johannesburg Water urges residents to help protect public infrastructure by reporting suspicious activity affecting the water network. To report incidents or water-related faults, call Johannesburg Water on 010-061-4470. So that's 010-061-4470. And it's brought to you by Johannesburg Water.
That's Kefense, before she got naked. Kefense's premium went up twice last year, and she was more confused than when her ex said, I need to find myself, and then found somebody else. So Kefense got naked. She got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Good for you, Kefense. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes before 9 o'clock, another edition of Corporates That Care. And today, we're talking to one of those businesses. When you find out what they do, you go, oh, so that's who's behind that. Oh, so that's who does that. So from wall-to-wall carpets to acoustic vinyl flooring design for high-traffic retail, office, or residential environments, to artificial grass and synthetic turf, to high-performance turf and court surfaces for hockey, for football, for tennis and multi-sports facilities. Belgatex South Africa is, of course, the leading custom floor coverings and soft flooring manufacturer on the continent. They're part of a multinational international group, but they're headquartered in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. And the CEO of Belgatex, Evan Lockhart-Barker, is with us in studio. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
And a very good morning to you, Bongani. Thank you for having me.
So as I was reading about your business, as I said in my introduction, I had that, oh, that's who does that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. You are here, of course, as part of Corporates That Care. And as always, my question to all the business leaders we speak to is, why are you a corporate that cares?
Thanks, Bongani. I think it's a big ode to the family who started Belgatex back in 1982. Just a massive focus on people, massive focus on the industry that we're in. And I think it's just been a common sense of how do we take more people along with us on this journey. And I think the major premise of the myriad of things that we do outside our sort of 9-to-5 job, let's call it, is really around how do we uplift people? How do we bring more people along with dignity? And really it's around employment. After I distilled it kind of all down as well, I think we have this massive challenge in South Africa. And if we can play our part in it, particularly in KZN, then this is what we've been doing for quite a bit of time.
Right, talk to me about some of the efforts that you are involved in as a corporate that cares, from really the arts, but also growing people.
Yeah, we formalized a lot of what Belgatex had in the past, which is around a foundation that formalized into the Go Group. The Go Group has a shareholding of Belgatex. And we formalized a lot of those programs around human dignity. And so the team, and kudos to that team who've been running this for the last 9 years, have built 5 programs really around how do we move people out of dependency to dignity or self-reliance. And that program has a very solid kind of methodology, and majority of that work is around the human and how do we put effort into that human to kind of take ownership of their life, show up how they need to, and then apply skills. So, business skills training, artisanal skill training, whether it's floor coverings, particularly in our industry, teaching people how to lay carpets and flooring. We have a food security program, which has been highly successful on allowing rural people to learn how to create sustainable income from growing their own food on their land, to textile conversion programs, to using our yarn with artisans to make new products. So it's a myriad of products. There are 5 programs running currently, and the new kind of one that we've put some time and effort into is to leverage off the good work that the Hilton Arts Festival has done for 34 years in KZN. And looking to bring heightened awareness to the crafts and the designers and the makers of KZN, because they don't also get the spotlight.
I mean, I love the idea that you're moving people further along than they would have been able to get to on their own. So these are people on the move, but you just move them a little further along.
Absolutely.
And I love that idea. Just talk to me about how you are able to invest in people in this way in terms of just the skills they get and the idea that they can use those to start their own businesses or at least earn livelihoods.
Yeah, none of our programs actually start off with any handout. So, I think we've invested close to 80 million over the last 9 years in these programs. But in reality, there's no financial handout in any program. It is if I pick any of them, it's around taking people who are previously unemployed, who have no income or no formal employment, and moving them through a program where we focus on the individual, what's holding them back. There's a green light movement survey that gets used right up front to understand the conditions that people are in, whether it's poverty, the resilience, the financial abilities, what does nutrition look like at home, all the way to kind of, okay, how does this person then show up for the program, and how do they then get the necessary skills, whether that's agribusiness or floor coverings or textile training. We lean deep into people having the simple financial ability to go, what do I need to save? What are my expenses, and how do I create a more sustainable income for myself and then my family? And that's really been the success over the last 9 years, is that the methodology is quite sound. And last year, I think we moved 1,023 people through those programs.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. And now you're getting involved in the creative economy.
I guess we've always been there, but this one is a little bit different with the new KZN Art Fair.
Yeah.
And that's really just born out of our own investigation around bringing in new design, thinking, and creativity into our business for the products that we create and make. But in that network, we've seen just incredible craftspeople and makers and designers that are probably just needing a different platform to be able to leverage. And so that idea came through with the Hilton Arts Festival. And
that's
as
the
I
biggest arts festival in KZN, right?
It's massive and it's fantastic. It's got comedy and music and drama and theatre and everything over a few days coming up in August. And kudos to them. They've been doing it for 34 years. And this year is the first edition of an art fair. And our portion of that is a piece called Making Ground, where we highlight in particular art and people in KZN that haven't had that platform before.
I mean, 25,000 people go through that school as part of that festival. It is absolutely fantastic. Are there any stories that stand out in terms of just the work that you've seen that you are proud to be associated with?
Well, the work for us, to be clear, starts this year with the own sort of network of designers and work that we're doing with the Hilton Arts Festival. But I think there's a myriad of good talent that has been local and probably moved out of KZN. And I think one of the ambitions is how do we make sure the talent stays in KZN and we make it more sustainable. I think that's going to be the key aspect this year.
Talk to me about the partnership between Belgatex and Making Ground and why that's important, particularly for young people.
Yeah, and just talking off that, I think this year will be the first year there's going to be 2,000 secondary and tertiary students that are going to come through the festival. And that main aim is to show the exhibition and walk through the students through the exhibition, as well as there's some deliberate programs around how do people get into the creative industry, how do they kind of understand where the job opportunities or career opportunities are. So that's quite exciting. Our own leverage is just to kind of support this platform that's going on. And, art, creativity, and manufacturing are not so disparate, really. We need each other in simple terms. We need the creativity to manufacture, and you need manufacturing to then pull that creativity along.
You've also developed products that you've done as part of a collaboration with designers, and just talk to me about that.
Yeah, we've done some beautiful work with Studio Sonnet, who actually lives abroad, but is a South African designer, with Arrange Studio based out of Cape Town, with the Joburg couple, Anisha and Justice Hoofen. And so we've deliberately gone out and said, how do we nurture this talent? Previously, I've also supported, and the business has supported people going across to the Venice Architectural Show. And I simply have a belief that South Africans are incredible and we can compete in any stage in the world. And, how does Belgatex help create a platform to develop some of that?
Because sometimes the thinking is around building sustainable industries, but you're taking that and you're saying you can't have sustainable industries, I imagine, without sustainable communities.
Very much so. I think we see it wherever we go today, right? And I think it's been a big responsibility of ours in Pietermaritzburg. I think we're the second largest employer, so we'll have let's call it close to 540 employees in Pietermaritzburg. But that stretches. We understand the value chain in manufacturing. You have a forward and a backward value chain, and you've got to bring a lot of people with you. And I think that's the blessing that we need to nurture in South Africa around manufacturing, whether it's whichever industry you talk about. Manufacturing helps thriving economies.
Fantastic. Belgatex, South Africa, Africa's leading custom floor coverings and soft flooring manufacturer, a corporate that cares.
702. More than a radio station. Let's walk the talk.
And look at the time. It's 9 o'clock. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson is expected to wrap up her testimony at the Madla Commission today following a grueling appearance over the past 5 days. She's told the Commission yesterday that she was not aware of a